up to 6. Sorry, let's go back to Arif Azmi, the race leader. Haven't given him much TLC at the moment. He got off to a storming start from P4. Looks like he's no time set on lap number 1, which is interesting. These three, Amo, are getting away from everybody else. Interestingly, both Arif and Jacqueline on the soft compounds.
Meanwhile, we're watching his teammate on the cusp outside of the points here in 16th. And look at that, the guys in front are fighting. In fact, the two RSG cars and Vianney are fighting each other. He just needs to get up to them right now when they're battling to actually score any good points. In fact, Jay has scored only 6 points all season with a best finish of 12 at the opening round. So he just needs to get it going now to score more points here.
The good news for him, and he'll love this, he is ahead of our Muhammad Alif Hamilton. Jay Yang currently in P16. Alif is in that group, those two orange cars chasing. Two very, very fast orange cars to have in your rear view mirror. He's got Fadli Rahmat, who's that? Yeah, Fadli went wide, and Alif goes past Jay Yang. So Jay Yang is able to hold on, but Alif makes progress up into P16. So 2 places have been made. How about the championship? Well, the championship leader is Alif Hamilton. How about Naqib Aslan, who was fastest in qualification? Naqib has got himself now up into P7. He looked fast in qualifying.
Indeed, and he looks fast in the race as well. Right now, he's just trying to work his way on the back of Ayman Aziz. Ayman then knows full well that he will have to battle against a guy who's known to a bit bargy on his overtaking. Now he's on the back straight here. Both have DRS, interestingly, because Ayman actually got DRS from Naki's brother Nabil. There won't be enough here. He has to defend coming into the hairpin. Naki goes onto the inside, and can he take the place away? Just about. He just about does, and Ayman there being pragmatic. Didn't want to defend too much because he knows that the race is still on here for the next 15 minutes, so he could get back at Naki later on.
That's Presley Martono there, looking for Presley Martono. I just want to have a little look at Inigo and Tom, fast Filipinos. I'm going around different groups at the moment, simply because it's a 20-minute race. What's happening at the front at the moment isn't absolutely critical. It's what's happening in the mid-range to see who can pick up points.
Yep, and the guy who's picking up the most points here after a disastrous round, to be honest, last time out in Suzuka, is Naqib Aslan, of course, because Naqib here, only yes, he did score a point for finishing 5th in the qualifying session, and then only 13th.
Naqib and Nabil are really making good progress up at the front. I just need quickly to move to them, because Kaylan Chin in P4 is suddenly swamped by Scuderia Green. And Kaylan is taken by Troy Ayman, Nabil and Naqib on one corner. What a moment.
Wow, he just got taken over by Yoda here. 3 Yodas because he's a big Star Wars fan, so he will not be happy to hear that. But it's just that he just got nicked there at final corner, final 2 corners by 3 cars, all in basically the same team. He just had to regather his thoughts here and try not to get that into his head and try to gain back what was actually 4th position on the road. So disaster for him at that very moment, but race is still not over yet for him.
Garrido was the man who was on the front row of the grid. Will again break away from that for a moment. Joaquim Garrido is currently in P10, having been on the front row of the grid, so the GT Radial Eurosia Motorsport man hasn't been able to hold on to that lead that he had. Arif Azmi and Jacqueline Chung are pulling away. Troy Ayman and Naqib and Kaylan and Nabil are in a race, but in the points at the moment is Joaquim Garrido from the Philippines, but he's got Jason Tay and Tadashi right behind him.
He's matching that right now, but he's going to have to do so hard that he defends. In fact, goes around the outside. There is Jason Tate. Tate tries to go to the outside. He defends on the inside, holds the line, deliberately hangs him out to dry, and still holds on to 10. Jason will probably not like that one bit. He just really got bogged there. Now the rest of the field, they're all the way up to 16. That includes his teammate Alif right behind him. So Garrido then, a cock in the bottle at this very moment in time.
I don't think he's got the RS though. I think he was more than a second behind Presley Martono. So he is just there for the taking by Jason Tay, Ayman Hakim, and by Josh Perwin, who has got himself up into P13. Who was that? That is
Ottoviani.
Ottoviani has made his way through.
No, he ran into the back of Garrido because Garrido got touched there by Jason Tate. Tate ended almost a big beneficiary of the lot, only to lose out a few positions then. So Ayman Hakim is not looking good so far because he's been held up in traffic that much at this point as
out
Nakib
of the
goes
front.
least.
Nakib Aslan goes past Jacqueline Chung into P2. Sorry to cut you off. Troy Ayman and Mohammed Nabil are there. It is a lime green swarm around Jacqueline as somebody goes off. Kaelan Chin has gone off at the back. Kaelan has gone out of the game, down to P10, P11. Nightmare for him. So Arif Azmi leads from Nakib. Jacqueline is still able to hold on somehow. Jacqueline, is he able to hold off the challenge from behind him? Troy Ayman and Mohammed Nabil. Nabil has a look on the inside. Ayman has a look on the inside. That green swarm on the Z Challenger. And Jay, look at him, bottom left of your screen. Does he look worried? No, not really.
In touring cars, WTCR cars, but probably has not been used to driving side by side, wheel to wheel with cars of high power. In this case, single seater cars. He's going to get nicked here for 2 positions as Nabil and Troy have taken it away from him. Now he's going to have to fend off from 2 more cars as I'm asking, did he sustain a puncture? Looks like it. Yes, he did. So just like Kaelan, why he went to the pits, he suffered a puncture. So the soft tires here cannot go the distance.
Jacqueline Chung drops from P2 to P7 in the blink of an eye. He was on pole position. He will not finish, we are pretty sure. That is going to be interesting. Nakib Aslan starts on hard. He's your new race leader. 3.8 seconds, 4 seconds clear of his brother. And his brother is playing spoiler, I think, to Troy Ayman and Ayman Hazikins. Oh, Malaysia, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inigo Anton for Philippines 5. Presley Martono 6. But this is a really, really good start for Nakib Aslan. Hard compound for him. Let's look onto our championship leader, Mohammed Ali Hamilton. He's got himself up into the top 10, Armo. Top 10.
And he's playing the long game as well because he's also running on the hard tires.
Yeah.
So all the drivers up to Jay Young in 16 are running on hard tires. So they're trying to stretch these tires all the way to the end. The guys on the softs at this moment, because Arif Azmi is the leading runner on the soft tires here, will have to make out the time on the track unless these guys are also going to pit as well. So it's looking like a fruitless task as Alif goes to the inside. Mika nearly gets it at turn 1 and he's going to drop back to P10. So Mika then had a wake-up call from Ali.
Mika's view of Ali Hamilton, who had one little nibble at trying to take P9. He is playing the long game, but the long game only has 7 more minutes to go. It is that 20 minutes just disappears in the blink of an eye.
Indeed, and we say long game because there is a pit stop going between us. We saw just now, the soft tire guys just cannot stretch these tires all the way to the end. So they would know full well that coming into the second race, they're going to have to do the same thing. Except this time, they're going to try to switch up the strategy. They're going to go either hard or soft or hard. So they already learned the lesson here. They cannot go softs all the way.
So you're saying there must be a pit stop, even on hard compounds?
Presumably, there might be a pit stop needed for the hard tires because I've seen from some of the practice races they had punctures. So it is a possibility that if they drive this hard, they're going to have to go for a pit stop. So it will be a waiting game here to see whether or not they would.
How about our friend Ottaviani? What's happened to Ottaviani's?
P11.
Ottaviani's still okay, P11. Always interested to see how Saka is there. He's giving it some welly.
It was almost like Gary McCoy style there because, you know, Gary McCoy used to line on the tires in MotoGP to 500cc's. That looked almost exactly like it, but he would not want that, especially the fact that the tires wear out so fast. So he'll have to reduce that as the race goes on. In fact, the final 6 minutes here will be crucial whether or not he can actually stretch this or he might have to come in. If he comes in now, it's actually going to be detrimental.
Bit of a battle here as Ayman Hakim is on the tail of Inigo Anton. Tadashi trying to pick up into P5. Presley Martono also in that little battle, as is Jason Tay, the Singaporean. We don't mention him much when we talk about Flash, as Inigo Anton makes a mistake and Ayman Hakim Tadashi moves into the top 5, Ammo.
Wow, wait. The fast drivers in front is going to be another match. There's Jason Tate goes on to the... No, sorry, that's Presley Martono. Martono goes on to the inside of Inigo Anton there. Does he make the move stick? Don't know if he does as another car is into the pits. No, he did. So Anton held on to it. Only for now as they come to the first corner as Martono onto the inside, Anton on the outside, and Martono makes the move stick cleanly this time.
Nakib is still out on the circuit, gotta tell you. Alif has got himself up into P7. Inigo Anton trails in his wake. The fast Filipino is fading. Fast Filipino becomes a fading Filipino.
actually is also on the hard tires, so he has to stick with these tires for here because 4 minutes left to go. No point putting on the pit stop because these other guys may be edging going to the end. So the hard tires for these guys holding on as we're looking at Ali, but behind him is Anton, and behind him is Jason Tay. Tay, of course, having been already in a collision with one of the GT Radio ERacing cars, hitting Garrido into a spin and also collect Ottaviani. So Tay will have to avoid hitting a second GT ERacing car if he wants to actually get up another position.
Under pressure in P5, Hamilton is trying to make his way through close. You've got Ayman Hakim and Ayman Hazik and Alif Hamilton, all with a chance of a P4 place here.
Yeah, but Ayman actually overtaking Ayman Hazik there. Sorry, two Aymans. So Hakim overtakes Hazik for 4th place. Now he can actually try to set aside for 3rd, but that might be a tall order because we're on the last lap now. He's over 1.6 seconds behind, so don't think he can make up that much ground in just the last lap. But good recovery as well for Ayman to go up to 4th.
Apologies as we move back onto Naqib Aslan. That mountain keeps getting in the way. It is a genuine mountain in Aragon at the far end of the course. But what that will do for Naqib Aslan is tell him that he is half a lap away from victory.
Yeah, but in fact, he's coming through the final sector now. In fact, he's still in sector 2. By the time he comes up through the complex of 12, 13, 14, and 15, he's going to be on the final back straight and into the final sector for the last time. And what a way to bounce back after that disastrous round in Suzuka.
Well, there is our race leader in P4. Alif Hamilton has got up to P5. Would you believe Naqib leads 7 seconds clear of Nabil, and it is that long straight to victory now for Naqib Aslan as he takes the hairpin at the bottom. It's a comprehensive victory, a remarkable victory. The extra 5 minutes making all the difference. Does this change the full momentum? Victory goes to Naqib Aslan from Malaysia, and the championship is re-energized for Stratos Motorsports.
Wow, we talk about re-energizing. A 2nd place for the debutant, for the team. Nabil, there he is, comes across the line. So it's a Stratos 1-2, a Aslan 1-2, and a very good 1-2 to return back to championship contention. Troy Ayman 3rd, and 4th is Ayman Hakim, who actually drives around the outside there. And 5th, crucially for the championship, is Muhammad Ali.
So Kalen Chin is the race leader, and he is blown away. Jack Din Chung is still holding on to P3, but he's got Josh Berwin on his tail. My word, that is mighty, mighty close up at the front. Jack Din having to hold off an aggressive challenge. Then Challenger Racing learning what it's like to race at this level. Contact from Fadli Rakhmat behind him. That allows Inigo and Tam to go through into P5. We must move away though, because Kalen Chin up at the front has got himself a good 1.7 second lead as he comes down this long straight. No DRS at the moment, so this is just terrific from Caleb. Mika Hakimi quick, and Josh Perwin from Black Arts Racing P3. Muhammad Alif Hamilton is down in P20 because he had a spin. Alif went off, he's picked up another place. He's gone past Joaquim Garrido. He's got I1's 2 racers, Landslau and Ben Sieg, in front of him. But Alif, for once, Amo Hazik, is looking rattled.
But that's not enough as Alif now goes up to P17. But this is not the start he wanted, and Naqib Aslan put down in front, looking very good here to gain points on him.
Who else is worth looking at? How
Ottaviani actually got hit.
Is out. Ottaviani is out.
Yes, he's out of the race. He did get hit just now. I saw on the time screen that he's stationary, so he might have been hit by somebody and just got terminal damage. So that's a shame for him on his debut in the championship. Mika then will try to get back at him as soon as possible. We'll try to actually chip away that gap as soon as possible.
Let's talk about the winner of race 1 and the fastest in qualification, Naqib Aslan. And there is Naqib in P6. He's got Inigo Anton right in front of him. Naqib tries to look on the inside of Inigo Anton. So Naqib is looking for a perfect weekend. A lot of work to do, of course. Inigo and Jack Din Chung are the 2 in front of him. Let's look behind from Jack Din. This is the view of Jack Din Chung, and it's a scary view because Naqib is there, literally pushing his way through. Naqib and Inigo right on the tail. Inigo goes past Jack Din Chung. Naqib Aslan is there as well as Fadli Rahmat and Arif Azmi and Jason Tay and Troy Ayman. That is the thrill of e-racing.
We say that Tree's accompanied, but that's a crowd, and he really got crowded out there for a second there, Jackson. He might be used to WTCR cars when they bump each other, but not in these single-seater cars like this, as he bumps a bit there on the side of Garrido, and he nearly loses, Anton, and look at that. One of the J-Max Phantoms cars go for the inside, takes away both of them. Finally, in fact, gets up to 4th. Naqib side by side here, he gets away 5th. So Jackson really getting swamped here by a few fast drivers.
Indeed it is. Fadli Rahmat who is up into P4, Naqib is into P5, but Naqib is looking to make progress on the fast Indonesian Fadli Rahmat from JMX Racing. There is Naqib on the bottom left of your screen. Fadli looking very focused, sitting nice and neat in that car, but under real pressure, because when Naqib's on your tail, Ammo, I'm sure you've got experience, you know he's on your tail. So this is the battle for P4. Just stick with this for a little while because it's important in the championship standings. In a moment we'll go down to our Muhammad Ali Hamilton, but Ali is in P16. This is potentially crucial, but the good news for Ali, a 20-minute race of which 14 remain. Naqib makes his move now on the inside of Fadli Rahmat. Naqib Aslan up into P4 ahead of Fadli, and he timed that one beautifully.
Indeed, and he just got that DRS again.
Nearly 4 seconds clear of Josh Perwin, but Josh Perwin up into P2, but he's got back markers to deal with.
Oh! That was really nip and tuck. He went through the inside of one of the, I think, Vietnam cars and Leona Chin, so he needed really to risk a puncture there. He wanted to go through right there, right now, and to his credit, he actually made that stick.
Okay, this is the battle for P2. Back markers are there.
Oh,
Leona again. Leona causes Mika Hakimi to take evasive action. So Josh Perwin is able to get away into P2 and take a second and a half off Mika, and that could impact things, because look at this. Naqib Aslan, he has gone round Leona Chin, and Naqib is closing in on Mika Hakimi.
Oh, that's not what Mika would have wanted, actually. Leona there becoming a rather mobile chicane that he had to go around the outside. Now, to his detriment, has to actually fend off Naqib Aslan, who's really fast approaching him. So that's kind of like the kind of trouble we have with the back markers here, because we see so many, in fact, look at that, there's a Vietnam car trying to get in the way of Naqib as well.
Okay.
The back markers really causing a trouble.
The story of the round, apologies, are Muhammad Ali Hamilton down in P13, but he is making progress. He's overtaken Ben C, Ayman Hakim and Ayman Haziq. He's got Mikko Nassi ahead of him, and Presley Martono and Alistair Young and Inigo Anton. So it's even though he's got a round to drop, this proves to everybody Alif is human, not a robot.
Not as impervious as we thought, and that actually just happens to be because this very round is a joke round where the championship is flipped on his head, and you have to let the championship runners who are in front with the way. Oh, there's a Vietnam car into the barrier, so he might have touched somebody, and that is not going to look good because he's actually on broadcast right now. So whatever happened there, maybe what would have been actually a collision.
So Jake Chang.
Whoa! That's an even bigger accident, and is that Naqib or is that Nabil? It's Nabil actually into the back of one of the Team Flash cars.
Wow, okay, so Nabil drops downwards, up at the front. Where is Naqib? Naqib is P4. Yeah, we had to double check, because if it's Naqib, it is massive for the championship. It wasn't. It was Nabil, but what it allows, Ammo, is Alif Hamilton is moving inexorably up this championship leaderboard. P10 now, and he's dragged Nassi with him, and he's got Anton in his sights on compound. He got away to such a good start, Ammo. He's not looked back. 8 seconds his lead, 8 seconds lead over Josh Perwin.
Yeah, in fact, we saw just now, remember when he was overtaking the back markers, he really made his chances count. He would have gotten a puncture if he got it wrong, but getting around the back markers as fast as possible is a trait that drivers must have, and Kalen did that very well here to increase his gap from the guy to second there. Mika tries to go for the inside of Josh. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. That's a brave dive bomb, but to the detriment, Naqib actually manages to steal the position away from Josh, and now he's potentially going to get second place.
So Josh Perwin moves from 2 to 4 very, very quickly. There's the benefits or not of the problems of not having DRS. Mika Hakimi is able to go round. Nakib is taking a very, very different line, and Nakib aggressively takes the inside from Mika Hakimi. Oh, terrific from Nakib.
Wow, Naki really showing his true colours here. He really wants to get a good point scoring round, and he's doing that right now. He can really throw that Suzuka race in the bin and consider this one as one of his best. If he can get a double win here, that would be one of the most amazing comebacks. It's literally a grand slam of pole positions, first race win and the second race win, if you can catch Kalen.
In two reverse grid races, but Kalen, let's look at Kalen, because we've got to have a whole different screen for Kalen, is nearly 9 seconds clear. 9 seconds with 8 minutes remaining. His lap times, they're lapping about the same. 1:29.5 to 1:29.3 for Nakib. But Nakib needs to make up a second a minute.
Yeah, in fact, 8 minutes with a second a lap, that's possible, but not enough laps for him, unfortunately.
But Ali, despite starting P18 in race 1, P50 in race 2.
He can really show that he is an absolute racer. He just loves to be at the back and try to overtake guys in front. But in this race, at least, it's not really worked out him to get all the way to the front. But nonetheless, he's not hemorrhaging points compared to what Nakib's doing. So as long as he still scores points, he's looking good in the championship.
Very briefly, let's move away. We're interested in Z Challenger this week. 17 at the moment. They've had a difficult time despite Jacqueline starting on pole position in both races. He will end without points in race number 2. Back up to the front, if we may. A battle going on for P3 between Hakimi and Perwin as Josh Perwin retakes P2. DRS coming into its own ammo.
Yep, and then the DRS that time run wasn't available for Mika. He tried to get around Josh, but Josh then holds his own and he's up to third. But Mika this time will have DRS because Josh is actually quite far away behind from Nakib, about more than a second behind. So Mika Hakimi then has the opportunity here to take third place from Josh because Josh will be a sitting duck.
Good little battle between two young racers, one from Australia, one from Malaysia. At the moment it's Perwin, Blackguards leading the RSG of Mika Hakimi. Behind them, Troy Iman a further 2 seconds down. The bogeyman approaches.
The bogeyman, well, for him, is going to be an absolute boogeyman after this if he actually gets up to 3 and tries to get up to the front. At the moment, he's not being pressured just by yet. We all know this is Ali, and he can actually make that 1 second gap. It looks like the 10 in just a few corners.
Well, he's made up 2 tenths as you were speaking. That's how quick Muhammad Ali Hamilton is. And tell you what, you try to put obstacles in his way and he just says, okay, how high is this obstacle? Yep, I can do that one. This is the battle for P5. On board here with Troy Iman, who is inexorably being closed down by Muhammad Ali Hamilton. Down the long straight, the back markers come a complication as they come into the tail end, round 16, 17 and 18, and then they will go on to their 12th lap.
They're behind the second Vietnam car, or is it one of the first? Is 32, that's Dang Hoi. So he's back in here for this race, but unfortunately he's going to cause trouble to Troy Iman, just as we mentioned him. So the back markers there not doing too much favors at all for Troy. Now Ali will actually get up to 5th here. If he could get to the inside, no, not this time. So game on here between 5th and 6th. Troy Iman under severe pressure from Ali.
And I don't think Troy's got DRS, so he's just defending against the inevitable. The long straight is when Alif will take it, but Alif needs to make progress very quickly because Kalen, Nakib and Josh are a long way away if he is going to make points. And Alif is still pushing in, looking for a position in the top 4. That's the target, that must be the target. Troy Iman currently in 5 for Stratos. The lime green are looking pretty good, and Troy, to be fair, is looking pretty darn cool. Bottom left of your screen.
Yep, but he won't be looking so good after this if he sees the fact that Ali will have the DRS when he goes through the DRS zone. Now look at that, it's open. He's going to close up very soon to the back of Troy. Does he get the move stick here to come into the airpit? He's in the slipstream, he's on the inside, and Ali makes it. Does he? Yes, he does. He gets his nose ahead right before the corner, and he's up to 5th. Now Mika Hakimi is within his sights.
That's excellent work from Muhammad Ali Hamilton. He's up into P5. Up at the front again.
Oh, he can definitely drive. He's definitely like a Jedi Master behind the wheel of a, well, unfortunately he's black color, so he's actually in the Sith X-Wing, so, sorry, not X-Wing,
like today. Caleb was pretty good in race number 1 as well until incidents dropped him down. But here, barring a catastrophe in the final 2 minutes, he is going to take the race because he leads Naqib Aslan in P2 by over 8 seconds. Bottom end of the long straight. Let's see where Naqib is. What kind of pressure Naqib is going to face? Well, none is the answer. Just tarmac between him and Josh Perwin. 4 seconds behind. The battle that we really want to look at is this one, because Alif is closing in on Mika Hakimi. Now Hakimi is a different challenge to anybody else because Hakimi's in great nick.
His 3 podium finishes in the first race of the season. Last time out in Suzuka. He didn't have a good race just now at Aragon, but he certainly wants to actually put up a good fight here to still continually score points and improve his season tally, because right now P7, P8 in the championship, he wants to actually catch up to Jason and Mohamed Ibrahim, who's definitely not going to compete in the for the rest of the season, so he wants to score points here.
They'll finish this lap. There will be one more. I think you got that right. Caleb Jim wasn't that far ahead, was he?
So two laps here for this, but Mika makes a bit of a slight bog here. He actually did get a good drive out of that turn 10, 11, turn 8, 9 and 10. Now he's got Alif onto the inside. Can Alif make the move stay? His DRS is open, and yes he does. Alif then serenely passes through. Mika just couldn't put up much of a challenge there. Now he has immediate troubles of Troy Ayman behind him, so he's potentially going to lose 2 positions in 1 lap here.
Troy Ayman, we are on board with him. They are the 2 in front of him, Alif and Hakimi. Hakimi in the blue. Alif has got away. That use of the DRS now should kick in for Troy Ayman, I would imagine. Yes, he looks on the inside of Mika Hakimi. He helps himself into P5. Mika drops down to P6. Back up to our race leader, Kalen Chin. Kalen is on his final lap.
Final lap off where the entire race is going to lead from start to finish. Again, that start line, proving to be his beneficiary for him. He just got the jump on Jack Ding Chill, took the whole shot and never really looked back. This is going to be one of his highlights of the season.
Aragon, there's already a little smile creasing through Caleb. Don't smile yet, but Michael smiles all the time, doesn't he? In fact, he laughs.
And even like we saw last year at Silverstone, you could have a drink while you were driving, courtesy of his dad, of course. So he really knows how to crack it. He has a really good sense of humor, and when he's on camera, he really knows when to be serious and when to be happy.
It's these days when it's a fabulous drive. 8 seconds, and he's kept that lead. Of course, he doesn't have DRS, but he has kept that lead from Naqib Aslan. Naqib has been able to pull away in P2. We'll very, very briefly look at him smiling. Naqib is in P2. He's just coming onto the long straight. We'll stick with Kalen Chin though, around turn 16, the hairpin, unless he gets it so wrong. Easy does it, that'll do. I think that's probably in the corner, round 17 and 18, and this is the victory. First of the E1 Championship for Australia's Kalen Chin, Black Wolf Racing. He is nearly 8 seconds clear of Naqib Aslan, who will come through in P2. Josh Perwin will take P3 for Black Arts Racing. That's a fine result for him. Mohamed Ali Hamilton will come through in P4 ahead of Troy Ayman. But the story of P2 is Kalen Chin.
Well, before we're going to go back to Kalen Chin, what happened to Mika? Mika actually had a puncture on the last lap, and he's going to cross the line. He's going to cross the line in 7.
Let's get the reaction of a joyful Kalen Chin.
As we look back at the last 5 rounds,
it's really been a bit of a 2-horse race.
Round 3 at Watkins Glen has probably been the best race.
Well, definitely it was in Watkins Glen.
Suzuka was probably our best.
Aragon was definitely the best for me.
At the last round at Motorland Aragon, Kalen Chin bagged his first win.
Race 1, I was spun out of like P3. I guess it's something good out of something bad.
Naqib Aslan coming back at the top step of the podium in race 1.
Last round in Aragon was definitely an important one. We had a 1-2-3 in race 1 for Stratos.
I wouldn't have the cojones to do exactly what James Russell did. He made the call. It's a big call in all ways. Nabil has huge potential.
The brother pairing will definitely bring more of a track.
I know they work very well hand in hand.
It's always more fun having a part of your family in the same team.
That weekend in Aragon, the pace wasn't there for Safe House.
I made a bit of a rookie error, then also picked up a puncture.
Mika Hakimi putting in a strong P4 finish.
When like collision with Leona happened, it took me out of the DRS zone to Josh. I was really annoyed.
I'm really sorry I had contact with you.
Jack Tin Chung starting on pole position twice. He really did struggle off the line.
Going into the final 3 rounds of the season.
We go to Zandvoort first, which is kind of fast and flowing. And then we go to Hungary, very tight and twisty. And then we go to Nürburgring, the more typical Formula 1 track.
It's not going to be easier.
I think the most difficult track will be Nürburgring.
So I would say Zandvoort is the most challenging.
Definitely has to be Zandvoort. It's such a tight track.
Tonight we're racing at Zandvoort in the Netherlands.
Qualification, I think, for once, is going to have a massive impact.
It is a tricky track.
It's all covered with gravel and grass off track. That's something we have to overcome.
To improve our setups and our lap times.
Hopefully we can get a better result, maybe in the top 5 again.
I'm pretty confident about it. Now I would like to try to build up my points a lot more.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing how our drivers navigate it tonight. Hello and welcome to Season 1 of the E1 Championship. I hope you've all had a very good and safe Eid Mubarak break and are ready for even more action on track as we get to the second half of Season 1. I'm your host, Daniel Woodruff, and with me in the studio is Alex Young, race director of the E1 Championship, and with us in the commentary box, as always, is the lovely Des Corkill. Hello, Des.
Always good to be here.
Don't forget that we are live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on the EGG network, and don't forget that you can catch all of our action on our Facebook pages as well on the EGG network and the E1 Championship. So today we are at round 6 of 8. We're racing in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. For people that are not familiar with the track, we've got 3 rounds to go. We've had a pretty exciting season so far, haven't we, Alex?
Yeah, we have. I mean, it's great. We had a full pack, 28 cars, 14 teams. Couldn't fit any more drivers into this championship, even if we wanted to. And we had action all the way. And like you said, we talked about it so much. Flash and Alif Hamilton leading the way, and the reigning champion, Stratus Motorsport. And of course, Nakib Aslan trying to find the way back. Had a good last round, though, and maybe they're back in the championship hunt.
That's right, a lot of action that has happened and a lot more action to come. Before we take a look at tonight's action, let's have a little recap of the last 5 rounds.
E1 Championship Season 1 gets underway.
Tasby, he is closing in on Nakib.
Alif Hamilton takes race number 1. The winner of RaceRoom got himself up into P5.
He's up to P3 in Tasby. Not looking so good at the beginning of the race. Obviously, I think mid-stop helped him.
And the race double goes to Alif Hamilton.
It's a good start there from Josh Bowen, but it's Kalen Chin take the lead. Does Ali have the line? Yes, he does, but Kalen on the switchback. No, he's actually slipped in. Alif takes the lead. It's Alif who takes victory.
He went right behind him. So, dives down the inside of Azik. Their cars are going all over the place.
Nasi goes under the inside. Nasi takes the win in race 2.
We are underway. Nakib Aslan, he's pulled out 0.3 of a second. Josh Berwin has got himself into E1. It's won by Nakib Aslan. Alif Hamilton making a very fine break.
Nakib takes the lead now.
There is Nakib Aslan, goes past Josh Berwin. 4 wins out of 6. Alif Hamilton takes the lead. Mika Hakimi could well be chasing his first P2 of the season. Miko Nasi takes the victory. Ayman Hakim is the new race leader. This is P2 now for Alif Hamilton. Team RSG battle for P2. Win number 5 for Alif Hamilton. And Kalen is taken by Troy Ayman, Nabil and Nakib.
Nabil and Troy have taken it away from him.
Victory goes to Nakib Aslan. Kalen Chin is the race leader. Nakib Aslan up to P4. Josh Berwin is able to get away to P2. First of the E1 Championship for Australia's Kalen Chin. Just to recap those standings, it's been Muhammad Alif Hamilton, as we call him, who's been dominating right from the very first round at Red Bull Ring, where he topped the podium on 55 points. Into round 2, we further saw the first time that Naqib Aslan was going to actually pose a threat to Muhammad Alif. Muhammad Ibrahim was dropping down the standings by the time we came to round 3 at Watkins Glen, and there will be questions about Muhammad Ibrahim. Josh Perwin on the top 5 for the first time. By the time we hit Suzuka in round 4, Perwin and Nasi are putting a challenge in, but it's still Alif leading the way. And then last round, Alif showed that he is human, and Naqib Aslan moved just a little bit closer. That's the driver standings recap.
That's right, thank you, Des. And taking a look at those driver standings after 5 rounds, we've seen quite a bit of shuffling in the top 10, I would say, with the exception, of course, of Alif Hamilton running away with his healthy gap in the lead. But let's take a look at some of the more pivotal rounds so far. Des, I would think for Naqib Aslan of Stratos Motorsports, Suzuka was probably the most pivotal round so far for him, with his worst results finish.
Yeah, you've got to remember that the drivers have got to drop 1 round of points. We assume it'll be the worst round, but you never know with this lot. They might spring a surprise. But Suzuka, Naqib had a nightmare, just 3 points. What that means is that he can't afford any more bad rounds. Otherwise, Alif will run away with this. Alif can pick and choose, but that could be pivotal for Naqib just because it was such a poor round.
That's right. Naqib will definitely be looking at that round for him to drop in the overall championship. Alex will get into more details later on in the show as to how that works. But the most pivotal round for Alif, I would say, is round 5. He hasn't had a bad showing, but it was his worst so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was a big round, Aragon, the last round we had. You know, first of all, Naqib had to be quick, and he did. He got 50 points from that, and Alif not. He 23 points in round 5 meant that's his worst round of the season. That at the moment will be the round he drops points on. And it's very, very pivotal for Alif because he can't afford another bad result. Because if he has another poor result, Naqib Aslan will be very close indeed.
That's right. There's a lot on the line for our 2 drivers in the top 2, Alif Hamilton and Naqib Aslan. Aragon was the last round that we were at, where we had a Joker format. Let's take a look at the overall results from the last round in Spain.
What this was, well, Naqib Aslan was fastest in qualification, 5 points for that. Kalen Chin also very rapid, and Naqib went on to win race 1 ahead of his brother Nabil Aslan. They are teammates, of course. Joy Iman making a Stratos 1, 2, 3. Race 2, Kalen Chin coming good. Naqib in P2. Josh Perwin also quick, and Alif even in a bad round. 4th is a bad round for Alif. The overall final result from that week, Naqib top of the pile with 50 points out of potential 55. Good weeks for Kalen, Choi Iman and Josh Perwin. Alif may well have to drop that in the overall final standings.
Round 5 at Aragon was exciting for many reasons, namely Kalen Chin's first win, Des. He's been really working hard at finally cracking his first win in the E1 Championship. He's been with us in Season 0 and Season 1. Do you think he can carry on this momentum for the last races of this season?
I'm a big Kalen Chin fan. I love his aggression, and sometimes from a commentator point of view, that's great because he'll take risks. Then you can almost hear Alex in commentary going, Kalen, what are you doing? Well, you can hear him saying that. So if he can cut those risks out, Alex will be happy. I won't be, but it'll probably improve his performance.
And talking about other people that have been happy, let's talk about the boys in green, Alex. They had a very strong outing in Aragon. We had both Stratos Motorsports and Scuderia Stratos on all the steps of the podium in race 1. But in particular, Nabil Aslan. He was a switch up in the second half of the season, replacing Mohammad Ibrahim. Good choice?
Difficult to say. I mean, that was a brave decision to make. And maybe it's a case of because Stratos Motorsport are hurting so much because they are the champions, don't forget. And up to Aragon, the last round, Flash have really been making the running of it and making Stratos not look as quick as they can be. But, you know, you have to say Nabil did come in and they had the best round of the season. So maybe there's better team dynamics there. Maybe that's happening. But I do feel also for Mohammad Ibrahim because Mohammad Ibrahim was seriously quick and for sure he'll be winning races this year.
For sure, it's a difficult question to ask. Was it the right move to replace Mohamed Ibrahim with Mohamed Nabil Aslan? Let's take a look at the highlights from the last 5 rounds to see how these two drivers scored up against each other. All right, so let's take a look at these two drivers the course of the last 5 rounds.
Okay, so if you see on the right, there's Nabil, and Nabil's there in the red and white car because he's in Team ERGP in the first few rounds. And he got a podium. He did a really good job. Don't forget Team ERGP cars. These are cars that qualify on a weekly leaderboard, so they have to carry 15 kilos ballast. So Aslan was showing his form there. But then on the left, Mohamed Ibrahim in the Stratos cars, you see him there, he got disqualified in the last lap for too aggressive move on Josh Perwin. He had pole positions, but then he got too aggressive. Suzuka had a couple accidents. This final accident put him in the wall and took out his teammate as well. And I think that was the last straw for Stratos. And that's why now Nabil, and you can see him now on the right, now he's in the green and white car. And he's had some pretty good performances. Second position in race 1 of the last round and going well so far.
Well, ultimately, only time will tell if Nabil can maintain his momentum. We'll find out very soon. We're at a very difficult track tonight, but we know that the boys in green always tend to have their setups working for them. So we'll find out in qualifying very soon. But let's put a little bit of a focus away from the boys in green and to the boys in blue at RSG. This one's for you, Des. Looking at the last round, Ayman Hakim not finishing on the podium at all. He had a P4 in race 1, he had a P9 in race 2, and Mika Hakimi was out of the top 10 in both races. What happened to both of the drivers there, Des?
Well, for Mika Hakimi, he can be incredibly quick. We've seen him with 2 podiums so far. I do think with Mika, sometimes it's the 5 Ps. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. If he practices and he gets out there, it's great. If he doesn't, if his attitude's not quite there, it's hurt him. You also need a good PC connection in this game as well. So it's maybe 6 Ps for Mika, but he's got to put the practice time in. He's got to commit to the sport.
Well done with that tongue twister, Des. I couldn't have said that. Mika did have his fair share of frustrations in round 5. Let's have a quick recap as to what they were.
Okay, this is the battle for P2. Back markers are there.
Oh,
Leona again. Leona causes Mika Hakimi to take evasive action. So Josh Perwin is able to get away into P2.
What happened to Mika? Mika actually had a puncture on the last lap, and he's going to cross the line. He's going to cross the line in 10th place, but wow, that's just dramatic. That's just a sad way to end the race for the RSG drivers.
And Alex, you can see the frustration on Mika's face there from that webcam view. Back markers are a tricky part of this sport. Ultimately, it looked like a little bit of bad luck. Was there anything that Mika could have done differently, or was it just bad luck?
No, it's not, and I'll explain to you in a second. But first, I just want to talk a little bit about what Des was saying, because Mika does put in hard work. I've seen him do 40-hour weeks of training on the sim, so this guy likes to practice hard. Problem is he's still young, top guys like Leaf and Hakim in the early 20s, and maybe a bit of maturity still needs to come to Mika's game. He reminds me a lot of Inigo Anton, but with completely different issues. Inigo Anton always qualifies at the front. He's had pole position before, but he always goes backwards in the race. He's not won a race yet with us. Same with Mika Hakimi. He doesn't really qualify so well, but he always comes good in the race. We always suddenly see him in 2nd or 3rd position at the end of the race. And if he could just qualify better, I think it would increase his chances of getting some race wins.
Well, hard work always eventually yields results. We saw him put in those podium finishes in Season 0. I'm sure that he can keep that up in the latter stages of Season 1. So we are now 5 rounds into the E1 Championship Season 1. Let's take a look at our top 5 in the team standings and the driver standings.
Top 5 in the driver standings. Mohamed Ali Hamilton, we call him, romping away with it, 212 points, but don't forget there's a round of points to drop. Naqib Aslan is looking to pick up the pieces, 160 for him. And then Team RSG's Ayman Hakim Tadashi on 119. Josh Perwin on 94, not too far behind them. And Kalen Chin, his win at Aragon means he joins the top 5. They're the individual championship standings for the team. Team Flash with the Alif Jason Tay combination, 321 241 points. The brothers Aslan for Stratos Motorsports on 247. 3 figures also for Akeem and Hakimi, who I was just told off by Alex for preparation is good, Mika. And then you've got the Presley-Fadley combination also on 111, and in 3 figures as well, Josh Berwin and Alistair Young.
All right, we've got 3 rounds to go, including tonight. We've had Joker rounds so far this season, but we also have drop points and double points coming up. Alex, very quickly, give us a rundown as to what drop points are and double points.
Okay, so we had a variety of things to spice up the racing. You know, the last round we had a Joker round. Joker round means the drivers turn up and they have no idea what format they were going to throw at them, and we just spice it up. And then, of course, we do have things like drop points. Drop points is very important because sometimes drivers get very unlucky where the internet connection dies and causes online races. That does happen sometimes. So they have to drop points from one of the rounds between rounds 1 and 7. So that really allows you, if you have a really bad round or you get disconnection, you can still recover in the championship. And of course, double points. We have double points for the last round of the championship, which always makes it exciting because even if you're second and third, those double points means you can still get up there and win the championship. So always very exciting here at E1 Championship.
That's right. That's the beauty of this championship. It's not just about going fast. There is a lot of strategy involved. Now, looking to tonight, we're racing in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. It's a very, very tricky track. I think it's the most difficult track of the season by far. Let's jump straight into our analysis of tonight's track and format. So here is a look at all of the tracks we'll be visiting this season. We've come fresh from Spain in Aragon. We're heading to Zandvoort tonight, and later on we'll be heading to Hungaroring in Hungary.
And of course now, Netherlands, Zandvoort. This is a really tricky track. It's right by the coast, so you get a lot of sand blowing on it. And look at that, track difficult, 8 out of 10. And it's true. You can see the white, the black, the red dot as it goes around the map. A lot of long corners, especially that middle sector, 7, 8, 9, 10. And not only are they fast corners, they're technical corners. You place the track at the wrong spot, you're going to be slow. Damage is full, don't forget. Tire wear will be hard. Tire wear is set at times too, so it's not so bad. But Zandvoort is tough on tires, so drivers will still want to prefer to use the hard tires because they are more durable.
And here's a look at our usual format for our race evenings. We've got a 5-minute qualifying session, which determines the starting positions for race 1, which will last 15 minutes at a sprint, followed by race 2, which has a reverse grid and is much longer at 30 minutes. Here's a breakdown of the points that our drivers can collect at each of the events. 5 points going for pole position, 25 points going for first place in both the races, followed by an additional 2 points to the fastest driver in each of those races.
That's the points. It's not the points. It's not just about points. It's about cash. And of course, the prize pool, $15,000, and of course, the champion with $5,000. That will go to the drivers and the teams, and obviously, it's up to the teams and the drivers how they split that. But that's what they're aiming for.
Money, of course, very important, and we're only a few races away this season from finding out who bags that top prize. Now, we've got qualifying coming up very shortly. I'm very excited to be racing at Zandvoort, and we'll have all that action coming to you right after this break. Black Wolf Racing Team are the Singapore-based outfit that joined us in Season 0 of the E1 Championship and have made a return in Season 1.
That's perfect, good. And he just leaves Ayman behind.
Black Wolf Racing formed as a team since 2012. We have been racing in karting. Right now, we're actually moving towards sim racing as well due to this COVID. My name is Daniel Rainway. I'm from Singapore.
I am Kaylin Chin. I am 14 years old. I am Australian, living in Singapore, and I am a driver for Black Wolf Wide Open Throttle Performance Racing.
It's Kaylin Chin with an absolutely barnstorming start to take the lead here at Hockenheim.
It all started back in 2010. You'd be surprised how long I've actually been driving for.
I actually had a wheel and pedals, and it's something that Kaylin jumped on and taught himself how to drive, and I was amazed.
Everything was about cars. The passion never faded, and once he got into a kart, that was no turning back.
After that, I just got interested in it and just been driving since then.
I'm Dave Chin. I'm Kaylin Chin's father. I'm part-time Black Wolf Racing engineer and eSport team manager.
For myself, I was doing more of real motorsports. We already actually prepared cars to take part in MCS. So we are also looking in into different regions for races.
Daniel's a good driver in his own self, but he's more of a team owner. Once Black Wolf can get in the second driver, maybe we could match Kalen.
If we can search for some talents to actually join Black Wolf, I will step away to let these young boys race, and then I'll concentrate more on real racing. Season 0 is a learning process for us, basically.
I didn't really have a good first start of the season back then, but towards the end of the season, that's when I really make up for it.
Kalen Chin will come through in P2.
The 3 championship contenders are behind the driver, who is pretty much outside that championship circle.
Kalen Chin finally bagged his first win.
To be honest, I think we could have done better.
Unfortunately, his results have not been as good as they were last year.
He's got a puncher,
Oh dear.
Yeah, he had contact with Nabil.
Kalen then holding on for dear life in his time. No, he's actually slipped it. Alif will now go for it. He takes the lead.
I don't want to put expectation up too high, but the realistic expectation is for us to actually improve from our position last year.
They definitely do have their strengths.
He needs a bit more coaching, I feel, to try and curate the race weekend properly.
As a driver, you always want to show that, you know, I'm the best.
You know, okay, he's not winning all the time, but he does have some race wins. He's 14 years old, able to race, you know, shoulder to shoulder with the best e-sim racers in Asia.
I want to be a champion. Look out, old guys, the young gun is coming through.
Welcome back to the E1 Championship Season 1, where we're at round 6, racing at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. We've got qualifying coming up very shortly, but first, Alex and Des, please walk us through our driver lineup for tonight.
Okay, driver lineup for first. We have to start with the champions, don't we? And the champions, of course, Stratos Motorsports, Nakib Aslan and Nabil Aslan. You've always called them the Brothers Grimm, haven't you, Des? But, you know, Nakib's second in the championship right now, and he'll need the support of his brother if he's going to try and get back up to first.
Safe House Racing next on our list. They've accumulated 86 points. Miko Nasi has anyway. He's 6th in the championship standings. I was expecting a little bit faster and better results from Arwin Tarunya. I'm a big fan of the Indonesian.
And then we have Team RSG. Ayman Hakim, he's won so many races in E1, and of course Mika Hakimi, we talked about it earlier on. Very quick driver, just needs to be a bit more consistent, and he's the number 1.
The boy band, you've got Troy Ayman alongside Arif Azmi. Now, they've only got 1 podium so far this year, but Arif is racing well in a different championship. Could come good today.
Okay, now there we go, Inigo Anton, GT Radio Eurasia, top team for Philippines. I think all Philippine lineup. Joaquin Garrido's in the car number 10. And of course, Inigo Anton looking for his first win still.
Fresh off the back of his first win of the season, you've got Kalen Chin. He won last time out at Aragon. Daniel returns to the cockpit. He'll be hoping to pick up his first points of the season.
And then after that, we have I1 Racing, the Brunei-based team. Benjamin Seek in car number 17 and Lance Lau there in car number 18. They have picked up some points this year, but they'll obviously be hoping for a few more points.
From Indonesia, Presley Motono and Fadli Rahmat. Fadli, unbelievably, no podiums, but he's 13th in the standing, having picked up 61 points, 50 points in total for 14th place Presley.
Then we have Black Arts Racing, one of the, if not the most successful single-seater racing team in Asia. They have Australia's Josh Perwin in car number 25 and Alistair Young from Malaysia in car number 26.
Making their debut are the Z Challenger team. Jack Ding Young standing with 11 points in 21st position, just 8 points for Jay Yang, but he's confident is the young Taiwanese. We saw him at the start of the show.
And then we have Flash, Team Flash, the Singapore-based team. And we've got championship leader Muhammad Alif in car number 29 and his compatriot Jason Tay, also from Singapore, in car number 30.
Also debuting from Vietnam, you've got Lalong Le Hong Nguyen Vin and Dang Hui. Neither have been able to get on the point so far this year, or get on a podium so far this year, hoping for better.
Then we have the celebrities, the team EGG, Whelan Choi, always good and fun to watch, and of course our drift queen, Leona Chin in car number 24. She's always great to watch too.
And the guys who have to qualify, ERacing GP, Ayman Haziq once again has qualified. He hasn't picked up a podium, but he's been quick in accumulating 42 points. Zini, ERGP Global Edition Copper Class winner in Season 4. And we will be joining practice. The guys have got about a minute to go around Zandvoort. Now, we've seen the virtual look at Zandvoort, but it's a strange old track, because I think qualification here, Alex, is going to be so critical, because you can't really overtake.
Yeah, and absolutely key. And I just want to point out, top of the leaderboard at the moment is Joaquin Garrido, GT Radio Eurasia, and it's in 1-2 because Inigo Anton's in second. This is a team I feel that's been underachieving. They know they've been underachieving. They've been really quick in qualifying, just not able to convert it into races. And it's fantastic to see Garrido right at the top. We've not seen him at the top before. This is the first time he's been there. So, but I tell you, he's at a 10.2, which is a very quick lap time. And if you can do that in qualifying, that's going to be a great result for him.
You also mentioned Inigo Anton out of the Philippines, second fastest. It is only practice. Can't get overly excited. As you say very often, a lot of the guys will keep their powder dry, but it's encouraging that they are looking quick. Although Inigo pulls out of a lap. Who else is there? Alif Hamilton, of course, the championship leader.
Oh, there he is, going slowly. He's probably just finished a lap and he's playing around with settings. We should try and get it on board with someone in qualifying, because you can see, oh, there we go, turns. I think that's, he's got the cars going through. Turn 4, that is. That's one of the straps, most of the cars going through turn 4. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name, but it's great. It's down the back straight. You guys will be using DRS, the drag reduction system, through this area. But it's still, even if you've got DRS, it's very, very hard to overtake, because then you come into turn 8. Very fast flowing right-hander. And now we come into qualifying. Hopefully we'll follow someone from the beginning of qualifying. Why don't you pick someone to follow, and then we can talk around this track. You know, 15
well, Josh
corners.
Perwin has been very quick recently, and he's not far off the championship standing. So maybe Josh is the man just to stick with early on, Alex.
Yes, okay, coming down to turn 1. Tarzan, very famous corner. It's very heavily banked, so you can't carry a load of speed. It looks like a slow hairpin, but it's actually a medium speed hairpin because of the banking. Now turn 3, just to lift through there, watch the curb with the exit. Turn 4, this long corner is probably the most important corner on the track. It's also one of the hardest corners to get right, because you've got to be on the power as early as possible, because you carry that speed all the way down these corners, which are straights really to these drivers. And then the right-hander here, turn 8. Whoa, in real life, you're pulling massive G's through there. Josh, too aggressive. And had to back off. Let's see if we can follow someone else.
How about Kalen Ching?
Okay.
Kalen is off the back of a victory.
Yep, there he is. Now he's going through turns 9 and then 10. Now turn 11, this long left-hander. It's short straight before you brake for turn 12. You can overtake in turn 12 because you do brake as you go over the brow here, and you do get the rears locking up. So it's very tricky to nail the braking there. So you will see people diving down the inside. And Kalen is purple. Purple in sector 1 and 2, so this is looking really good. The penultimate corner now, turn 14. This is also the most important corner on the track, because the exit out there, is it flat through 15? Yes, it's easy flat through 15, no issue at all. Down the long straight, you have to use DRS down here, and there'll be loads of overtaking there.
So Kalen Chin setting a time of 1:10.9. However, he is immediately down to P9, because Alif Hamilton is up at the top. Inigo Anton is in P3. Ayman Hakim Tadashi, Alex, has put in a 1:10.1.
Wow, good job by Hakim. He's going to start another lap. Can he go? Can he find 2 more tenths? If he can find 3 more tenths, he will be on pole. Okay, let's watch him go through turn 1. It's okay to run wide there, as long as he can get the power early, which I think he did. Bit left. Watch the curb on the exit there, because you will break the suspension. Ooh, that looks okay. That looks okay. That looks pretty good. Good exit out of turn 4 there. Let's see when the first split comes up. See what that time is, so we can get an idea. As he comes across, oh, there we go through turn 8. Now, left over the brow, turn 9, carries speed. It's a great sequence of corners there. He hit too much curb, jumped wide, and that was it.
Nakib Aslan, he is only P7 at the moment, a 1:10.6, which is a full second down on the leader, Muhammad Alif Hamilton. This has got to be a good lap from Nakib.
Yeah, he needs to be good. Wow, look how fast he goes through turn 8 there. So much speed they're carrying through there. It's important to nail this. He's got to nail this. This is the important part. This is where all the time is in the track, because the corners just lead into each other, and they're very, very long, and you have to place it just right. You've got to get the power early here. He does seem to get the power early there. That seems good. Nakib Aslan, he's green through sector 1, although he's still 2 tenths down on pole position. He's green through sector 2, but again, another 2 more tenths down. He is carrying 15 kilos of success balance because he won round 6. But this is getting closer. This is an improvement, but it won't be anywhere near good enough for the front row.
It's still Alif Hamilton who has the lead on P1. Nakib Aslan, P8 at the moment. There are only points available for the top 5. Nakib goes to P4, so Nakib will pick up at least 2 points. Look at that, Presley Martono in P3 for Indonesia.
Well, let's follow up Martono here, because Martono has had pole here on E1 Championship before, and we know how quick he is. He's not had a great result in the race yet, but he's always there or thereabouts in qualifying. He can take pole position. I know how quick this driver is. This driver has the ability to take pole position. Through 8, now 9 again. Looks good so far. Turn 10.
And he's green. He's not as quick as Hamilton.
Just had a small moment though. Had a small moment. Yeah, and he's just under a 10th down on Hamilton. So he needs to be better. But that small moment there through turn 11, I think that's going to cost him. Second sector. Yeah, he's lost 2/10 now. No, it's not good enough. This is not going to challenge for pole. 2 more corners of the lap to go. He might improve to P3, but I think that's all he's going to improve to.
Presley Martono currently P4 at the moment. He's got to improve to 110.298 is the man in P3, and he's got it, you know. He's improved about 0.2 of a second. P3 for him. Perwin in P4, Nakib 5. Fadli Rahmat also out there at the moment. But it's Mohammed Alif Hamilton, Alex, who was lightning quick. Quick, a 109.8.
Wow, that's such a quick lap time. Great lap time by him. Ayman Hakim second. Presley Martono third. Fadli Rahmat just dropped up to P3.
Third. Wow.
Fadli Rahmat, JMX Phantom, joins his teammate on the second row. His teammate Martono in 4th, Perwin in 5th. Nakib drops out of the points in 6th. Inigo Anton 7th. Arwen Tour in 8th. Jason Tay up to 9th. Good job by him. And Jaktin Chung from Hong Kong in 10th. That's a great lap by Jaktin as well.
Okay, fastest in qualification though, Alex, is the man who had a loose-ish round last week by his own standards. Alif is rating to talk to you, I understand.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him on board, looking for Team Stratos.
Nice. Top 10.
Daniel, see if you can find him. We're just trying to find him on the radio here.
Yep, I've got Alif Hamilton on the line. Alif, you there? Can you hear us all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Congratulations, you're back. Once again, we've done the opposite of the commentator's curse on the show, where we've said that you had your worst round so far in Season 1 last round, but you've bounced back and you're back on P1. Talk us through the lap.
Yeah, man, it was I think the lap was good. Hooked up the sectors very nicely, but I think there was still a bit more to be found. But yeah, just glad that I got pole position for us, and yeah, good starting position for the team for race 1, even though it's on the dirty side. So we'll see how it goes.
Definitely, P1 is the most important. We know that overtaking is going to be very difficult. We also saw that it's going to be very difficult to stay on the track. There's not a lot of runoff at all. We're looking forward to seeing what you can do in race 1 and race 2. Best of luck. We'll speak to you soon.
Yes, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, we're very used to interviewing Alif, and he's always very good when he talks to us. He's got the advantage of being on pole position. What would be the best setup for him to use at
Okay, and just see how focused he looked as well there. He wants this win, yes. So setup's important, of course, because these long corners, you need a really good balance with the car. Downforce, you want to run maximum wing. I know everyone runs full wing at the front, and they just try and balance it out in the rear wing, because you need it for these long corners. Not many straights, just the front straight's a little bit long, so the gearing also tends to be a bit short. You don't really reach too high a speed. Stable platform for the long corners. You need, like I said, a good balance for those long corners. If you have a car that's too twitchy, you're going to lose a lot of time. So that's what they'll be looking for.
Alex, recommendations of the best setup. Mohammed Alif Hamilton, he picked up 5 points. Ayman Hakim Tadashi, quick, 4 points. We kind of ignored Tadashi recently, but he can be ultra quick and a really good racer.
And he hasn't won this year, has he? He hasn't won in Season 1 yet. So he needs to get him off the line, because Alif just mentioned he's on the dirty side of the track. Dirty side of the track is normally the side of the track which doesn't get used that much, whereas the outside track for turn 1, it does get used a lot. You do get a dirty side in virtual racing, not as much as real life racing. In real life racing, you really do feel a big difference, but there is still more difference still in virtual racing. So if Ayman Hakim can get a good start, maybe he can nab Alif into turn 1.
JMX Phantom, both racers picking up points. You had Fadli Rakhmat, who was very, very late into getting into P3, but alongside him on the second row, Presley Martono, who is improving race on race on race.
I mean, GMX, you know, there we are. They're on the second row. They've had pole position before. We saw Rakhmat get a podium, didn't we, recently as well? So they're the sort of team they're brand new to E1, brand new to the game, brand new to the whole system doing it. So you can see them settling in, trying to figure it out. But you can just tell next season, season 2, they'll be right there fighting for the championship. And I guess, Des, we have to talk about tyres, don't we? Because tyre wear today, fuel is set at normal, ×1. Tyres are set at ×2. And normally ×2 means you can go the whole 30-minute race 2 without doing a pit stop. However, we are at Zandvoort, and Zandvoort is tough on tyres. And for sure, race 1, they'll be able to maybe make the soft tyre last the whole way. But I'm not sure they can do that in race 2.
For the 15-minute race, the first sprint race, everyone is on soft, although just looking, Jack-Ding Chung is on hard at the moment. That would be a mistake to go on hard, wouldn't it? Or is he just making sure he's getting around?
Maybe he's just getting a feel for the hard tyre, because I think they'll want to use a hard tyre for race 2 and maybe go all the way without doing a pit stop. But you just mentioned Jack-Ding Chung. We should talk about him. From Hong Kong, one of the best drivers in RaceRoom in the region. New to, obviously, this car. But P10 is his best qualifying position of the year.
Okay, let's get over to the race itself. We're at Zandvoort. We're just about get settled. It's right on the coast. It's a virtual shot that I promise you. The water in that part of the world is as grim and grey as it really does look there. But this is the pits. As you say, the sand in real life can blow in. Does the game replicate those actual conditions, Alex?
Actually, I don't know in RaceRoom, and I'd say the dust being blown in from the surrounding areas that you do get, like in Zandvoort or Bahrain. Actually, I haven't played this circuit, so I'm not really sure. But that would be cool if they did that, didn't it?
It certainly would be cool. Sand particles, just to make it different. They are on the northern coast of Holland. The E1 Championship, round 6 of 8. Just waiting for the game to start. It'll be starting in about 10 seconds. Then we will get onto the grid. Alif Hamilton on pole position. He is the man in pole position in the championship standings. But reminder, double points available on the last round. Right, when the red lights go out, we'll be underway. And we're on board with Alif Hamilton. Red lights are... long wait, we're off. Alif gets off to a decent start. Alongside him, he's got Tadashi. Tadashi tries to go with Alif Hamilton, but and indeed, Tadashi goes around the outside of Alif, and Tadashi is the man who has got the lead, Alex Young.
What a great move by Tadashi. He just went really wide, just braked really late in turn 1, carried the speed somehow, and went all the way around Alif. That is the sort of move that can be a race-winning move, so I'm super happy to see Hakim do that. Alif, though, he's right there in P2, though. He wants that lead back.
Look who's in P3 as well. Naki Baslan wasn't on the first 2 rows of the grid. He came from P6, but his start has got him into P3. As we're on board with Naki. That can't be right, surely?
No, we've lost him somehow. This is the camera angle. Oh, we've had a game crash. We're going to have to restart the game and maybe go back to a commercial break for now.
Oh, dear.
The drivers are racing. Don't worry, there's 2 going. We're going to go for a quick commercial break while we reload the game, and we'll come back to the action.
We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes' time. Emergencies do happen. This is ED1 Championship. Okay, there's the backup. Terrific. Hey, live television, don't you love it?
So we're back at the backup. We will need the leaderboard.
Tadashi is still leading the way. And Tadashi, after that phenomenal start, has been able to drag Alif Hamilton with him. Naqib Aslan is there. The 2 JMX groups, JMX racers, Presley Martono and Fadli Rakhmat, are also in the top 4. But this is one heck of a lap from Ayman Hakim Tadashi on the soft compound tyres. He's made a really, really good start. And at Zandvoort, it's particularly difficult to overtake. You can almost see a procession like as they go around the intricate infield.
And you can see here we are back from Ayman Hakim, just looking back from him. There is Alif Hamilton, and he's just looking back from. Let's go back to see who happens in P3. Naqib Aslan there, though, hanging on P3. This is the championship winner from previous year. Obviously, he wants to get back in the championship to lead, and he's hunting down the leader at the moment.
Okay, so Nakib Aslan on board with Nakib. Gosh. DRS now comes into play, so maybe it's not such a bad thing for Alif not to be in the lead, Alex.
Yeah, he's just stalking his opponent. One thing we know this year that's happened is the Team Flash and Team Stratos cars are better with tyre wear. Everyone else, they can win, they can be on pole position, but whenever the tyre wear becomes an issue, Flash and Stratos are good. So, Ayman Hakim, he knows that. He'll be hopefully been working over the break, trying to work on the tyre wear. Because he's got the speed to win right now, he's got the speed to be in front, but does he have the tyre wear to be able to hold off Alif to the end of the race?
Well, that's the rear view of Ayman Hakim Tadashi. As he looks backwards, that's the view he gets in his rear mirror of Muhammad Alif Hamilton. And these two are breaking away, Alex, which is bad news because Nakib is a full second plus down and feeling the pressure from Fadli Rakhmat and Presley Martono from the JMX Phantom group behind him in 4 and 5.
Well, I tell you, Nakib did a really good job to get up to P3 because if he wants to get this championship this year, he needs to be able to fight with the front two. And try and get some more points. JMX Phantom cars, like you said, just behind him. And look, Alif is out of the DRS zone, so he does not have the DRS anymore. So the front two are going to leave him. So that's a big gap now.
It certainly is. Let's have a look a little bit further down. Jason Tay is leading a group.
That's not Jason Tay. That's
Jason Tay, is it?
One of the Vietnamese teams that are right at the back. We'll try and pick up a...
One or two gremlins in the game. Apologies for this. What we can tell you is Tadashi is leading. Alif Hamilton is in P2. Nakib Aslam is the man who is holding on to P3.
Yeah, there
is Alif.
Helicopter shot there right now. Alif looks like he's got a better exit now. Oh, he's getting really close to Ayman Hakim. Look at it down through turns 11. Now the long corner up into a short batch of corners. Now we've got the turn 12 and 13. You can send it one down the inside. It is possible. Ooh, Hakim does go a bit wide though, and no, it does get the good exit though. That's the important thing. And Alif hangs on for now. Further back, Nakib, there he is. Ooh, and look, he's got Rakhmat all over the back of him, and Rakhmat has got DRS as they come down the start-finish straight.
Need to go back to the front, Alex, because Alif Hamilton is. Has he taken the lead, Alif? Ayman Hakim is there.
Yes, he has taken the lead. Wow, so he used the DRS, a good thing, and he managed to get back into the front.
So Alif leads the way. Ayman Hakim Tadashi will now put the pressure on. Behind them, Nakib is still out of DRS zone. And the danger for Nakib and Fadli and Presley and Josh Berwin, Jason Tay and Inigo Anton behind them is that the front two will race away from everybody else, Alex.
Yeah, they just seem to have a bit more pace than everyone else. Fadli, I think he could have, the JMX Phantom cars could have, I think, stuck with the front two, but they got stuck behind Nakib Aslan. And Nakib, with all the success battles, he's not able to go as quick as the front two, and he's holding up the JMX Phantom cars.
DRS has been employed as Alif tries to pull away. This is the championship lead, and we're giving him lots of TLC at the moment because having been fastest in qualification, he was overtaken on the first corner in a brilliant maneuver by Tadashi, but he's got his way back into the lead.
Yeah, Tadashi's got DRS, so they come to turn 1, but he's too far away at the moment. Oh, gosh, look at that. Alif looks so calm right now, and he's... But can Tadashi take it back? Can Hakim somehow find his way back into the lead? Okay, let's go a bit further back. Josh Berwin, there he is, the Black Arts car. He's just behind Presley Martono. And right behind him is the other second Team Flash car of Jason Tay and Inigo Anton. So there's a good battle brewing here for 5th position. So go through turns 8, 9, and 10. Let's go a little bit further back. Arwin Taruna from Safe House. He's battling with Troy Iman. I tell you, that's an interesting thing to think about as well, Des, is what's happened to Mikko Nassi?
Yeah, he started off very poorly. I saw him down in P12 or 13. It looked like he was having problems.
Yeah, he's down in 19th position, so it's going to take a while for him to catch up. But look at his teammate there, Arwin Taruna, holding onto the gap. They're just holding off the Scuderia Stratos car. And the others, gets a good exit there. Troy Iman's trying to get a better exit, but not able to do it at the moment.
We are on board with Troy Iman. He's in that battle with Arwin Taruna. That's for P9 and P10. Troy, I was expecting Troy to be able to be a little bit more involved in the championship.
Oh, down the inside, looks down the inside, not quite close enough though. And Arwin survives for now. Churuna is doing a good job though, holding on to P9. Further back, we haven't seen Kalen Chin for a while. There he is in 13th. He's been a bit, well, I tell you why, he's also carrying a lot of success ballast. Because he won the race last in round 6, he's carrying, I think, 12 kilos of success ballast. And if it's the first time you're carrying that sort of ballast, you don't quite know how to adjust the drive to it, and that's why he's all the way back there. Naqib Aslan, another guy with success ballast, obviously he's used to carrying this heavy weight, and he's doing a bit of a better job at the moment in P3.
Yeah, how about his brother Mohammed Nabil, who's down in P11 at the moment. Nabil, it was a big call for James Russell to make that call, but he's not threatening for the points at the moment, Nabil. He's got Troy Iman in front of him, Joaquim Margarito just behind him.
Yeah, and for the championship, really, Nabil needs to get up and contribute, get in front of Jason Tay, the other Team Flash driver who's in P7 at the moment. But there we've got Troy Iman's got a good run, and Arwin Taruna.
Back up at the front, Tadashi is beginning to make a move on Muhammad Alif Hamilton.
He is, look how close he is. He's getting a lot closer. I think at this point, you know, Iman lost the lead and it took him a while to recover. Now he looks all over the back of Alif. Now it's really a battle of wits because they both got the same pace. So it's like, okay, how am I going to take him? Where am I going to take him? How am I going to look after my tires at this point so I can get a bit closer and try and overtake him? So if I was Akeem, I'd be thinking about trying, okay, let's be a bit strategic. We've got 6.5 minutes to go, almost 7 minutes to go. I just have to look after my tires, look after my fuel, just stay behind him, see where he's fast, see where he's strong, and I'll try and get him in the last few laps.
They're lapping inside 112. There's a couple behind them who are also that quick, but inside 112. Just breaking away from this little battle at the moment, Alex. A little bit further down, can we just have a look at the Vietnamese drivers, see how they're coping? 25th, 26th at the moment for Huy Dang and Long Lei.
Oh, there's this Long Lei in 25th position, and he's looks like he's behind Leona Chin at the moment. There he is, and his teammate is another 8 seconds behind him. So yeah, that's a big learning curve for them. But yeah, so if he could just get a bit closer to Leona, he might have a go at going down the inside around the outside of turn 1.
And Leona just sticking with Leona as well for. She's with the team who, along with Whelan Choi, are always at the tail end, and we often look at them and wonder how difficult it's going to be for them. Mohammed Zini's qualified for Singapore as well. He's struggling, so the ERGP qualifiers are struggling. The EGG celebrities are both struggling.
Yeah, just a little bit further up from him, you got Lance Lau, there he is, and you can see him just behind Whelan Choi, the other EGG driver. So Wheeler's doing a good job. He's actually improved a little bit. I know this position doesn't really reflect his improvement, but he has been improving. And there he is in P20. Shall we go back to the front then? It was hotting up between Naqib Aslan and Fadli Rahmat.
Indeed, let's do exactly that. And
2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all in shot just now.
Naqib holding on to P3 at the moment. That's the lime green Stratos car. But there's the differential. The front two, Tadashi's first corner maneuver, Alex, was sensational because they've opened up a 4.5 second gap. And now Naqib has got to work every bone in his body to hold off the challenge from Fadli Rahmat, Presley Martono, Josh Perwin, and Jason Tay.
Yeah. Let's go back to the front though. Look at that. Ayman Hakim's getting closer. And you know where? Ayman's a bit weak through turns 12 and 13. He's really strong, actually, stronger than Alif everywhere else. But let's watch him through turns 12 and 13 because it's those two corners which are hurting him. And 12 and 13 come before the front straight, and that's why he's not getting close enough to use the DRS. Okay, here we are through 11. And now we come up to turns 12 and 13. 12 and 13, very slow technical corners. See, he's made a mistake there again. He's gone wide again. Look, at least going to get a better exit out of here. Pulls away from the RSG car. And this is why Ayman Hakim cannot get close enough down the start-finish straight to have a move at him. Although he is closer than, as I say that, he looks closer than he's been before. Look, he's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream Des.
And he's going to make the maneuver on the home straight as they go into their lap number 11. Couldn't make it on the Tarzan call, but he's got to make a Tarzan call sooner rather than later because time is running out. We're inside 3 minutes. It's Alif who leads the way. Back markers coming on. This could be interesting. How disciplined will the back markers be? Alif has got to focus on them. Make sure there isn't any connection between the back markers and him. Maybe this is the chance for Ayman Hakim Tadashi.
Yeah, this is Hui just in front of him. Ayman needs to stay close though. He can't let Alif get away, because if Alif does have a trip up, then Ayman can get a chance. Yeah.
Well done, Mr. Vietnam. Hui drops out the way, and Ayman Hakim, I think, was hoping for a little bit more Vietnamese assistance.
Yeah. He's just made another small mistake Ayman did just now. So Hakim, his key points of the track, this second half of the lap, he's not quite strong enough. He needs to get improved through those corners. If he can improve just a little bit, he might get close enough.
Behind them, Alex, a huge development. Naqib Aslan is down in P10. Fadli Rahmat 3, Presley Martono 4, Perwin 5, and Nabil has also spun out as well. He's in P11. Naqib is in P10, so Nabil is out. Naqib way down. This could be the moment of reckoning for the championship.
Yeah, I think he's got a puncture. Naqib's got a puncture. Wow, maybe when the JMX Phantom boys came in, so that's him. That's his championship gone, I feel.
Naqib, oh, look at the desolation bottom left of your screen. He is not feeling the love of Zandvoort at the moment. Up at the front, though, Hakim is trying to get a race win. 1:12 still to go. Where are we on the circuit? He's got to time this just about right as Ayman Hakim Tadashi. He has been patient. Has he timed this one right?
He's using the DRS there to get a bit closer. Let's go on board with him. Ooh, he thought about it, didn't he? He thought about going down the inside at 12. Okay, he's got 12 right though. 13 looks good as well. That's a much better exit by Hakim. Hakim looks like he could be closer. Oh, he's got to get a good exit out of here. But, okay, flat out through here. DRS is activated.
Right, we're on to the last lap. We are on board with Ayman Hakim Tadashi. He will have DRS in the final lap. Muhammad Alif Hamilton has got the track in front of him. He's got back markers in front of him. He's got Tadashi right up his tailgate. Now this could be fascinating. 2 back markers. Leona, please, not today.
Yeah. And to tell you what, I could hear Hakim when he was getting closer. He's on the rev limiter. RSG made a mistake on the setup. The car is geared too low. Whoa.
The Vietnamese takes evasive action. Leona is now in the way. What a battle. Tadashi right up close to Alif Hamilton. This is a last half lap sprint to the line. Tadashi in blue. Hamilton, the championship leader. He's perfect round that line. But DRS is available, Alex Young, for Ayman Hakim Tadashi. Can he do it?
Yeah, he's made a mistake at 12 again. So he's not going to get an exit. Unfortunately, that's it. But fortunately for Muhammad Ali from Singapore, that's it. The win is going to be his.
Round 14, round 15, and into the home straight. It is another victory for Alif Hamilton. Right of your screen, you can just see a little nod of approval, frustration, and a dang it from Ayman Hakim Tadashi. But my word, Alif was pushed all the way. Emotion worn on the sleeve of Ayman Hakim. And Alex, you have the choice of who you'd like to talk to. Go for Hakim, be brave.
Yeah, let's go for Hakim. We should definitely try and talk to Hakim. Or let's talk to Alif first, shall we?
Coward. So Alif has taken the victory. Tadashi was pushing him all the way though. But once Alif got in front, it was never going to stop.
Hey Alif, can you hear us? What a great performance that was. Pole position, win the race. That was exactly what you needed.
Yeah, man. It was a good fight, with Ayman. It was good to have. So yeah, the start was a bit messy. I think on the second phase of the launch, I think the first phase was quite good, but then second phase kind of lost it to Ayman, and then tried to hunt him back and get the place back, and it felt good.
Yeah, you did. Great. We missed the move, unfortunately, on TV, but great move. Were you at all troubled after that?
Yeah, I was under attack from Ayman constantly. I mean, he seems to be navigating the middle part of the track a bit better than me. So, but then I think he had a top speed deficit compared to us, so he couldn't really manage to pull the move off
Yeah.
So yeah, we quite kind of kept him at bay.
Yeah, he set the gearing too short. He was on the rev limiter halfway down the straight.
Yeah, yeah. I realized that. I was like, okay, never mind. Let's just go back to racing line.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Alif. We won't ask you about strategy because I know you won't tell us. Good luck for race 2.
Confirmation of the result just being scrolling up your screen. Naqib Aslan had the consolation of picking up the fastest lap. He had a puncture out of the points. Alif picking up 25 points plus the 5 that he picked up for the fastest qualification. But what a battle from Ayman Hakim Tadashi. Hasn't got a win this season in the E1 Championship. Won't come much closer than that. We'll analyse it after the break. Take us away, Dan.
Thank you, Des. That's right. So close yet so far for Ayman Hakim. A lot to break down there right after the short commercial break. We'll see you very, very soon.
Well, I1 Racing, they have improved from last year. It's just that the competition is so much stronger. The field is so much stronger, so we don't really see that much of them at the moment.
Ben Seek and Naqib Aslan are there. Ben is trying to just hold on, learn from this experience, but Naqib goes on the inside, overtakes at that position. That's insane.
I'm Lance from Brunei.
My name is Ben Seek. I come from New Zealand. I'm currently living in Brunei.
Hi, I'm Jake Tan. I'm the I1 Racing team manager for the season. We're Brunei's sole representative.
Ben Seek currently in 3rd.
They've been improving steadily round by round, and 9th place at the moment.
And it started off as a bit of recreational fun thing.
When we got locked down with COVID, we were sort of looking for new things to do.
Lance ordered in a bunch of full motion sims.
I decided to just go and get like 4 units. At least I could like get my friends involved and we can like have a race among ourselves.
Playing on it just for fun, recreationally.
And then we heard about the E1 Championship.
Lance showed an interest in it. He was introduced by a mutual friend.
So we just thought, why not? Let's give it a go.
We thought it'd be a fun thing at first to take part in, and we quickly realized we'd have to step up our game.
Is down in P18, Alex. It's been a tough time for Ben Seek.
Yeah, he shouldn't be that far back. He's had a disaster of a race.
Season 0 was a bit of an eye-opener for all of us.
We do have a little bit less experience than most of the other drivers from what I see.
Having a bit of a nightmare as well. He's in P19.
He shouldn't be that far back. He's had a disaster of a race. Obviously got caught in some action there. Had to take his pit stop and he's all the way back. Shame, he had a really, really good race 1 though.
The greatest moments in Season 0 for me were scoring my first points. Started a few races from pole position, managed to improve quite a lot within the season.
Managed to get top 10 for the first time, which is a huge achievement for someone who has just started sim racing.
They're the fun guys. They're the guys in the Mario hats and having a good time. So it's always good to see them.
Well, the idea for the Mario hats started at a Halloween party. We dressed up.
We knew we weren't going to be competing at the top of the table, but at least they could be looking at us for other reasons.
Give the people watching something to laugh at.
Super Mario outfit, looking very good indeed. Love the moustache, nice touch.
We need to make sure that is a costume. That's not what it looks like.
That is a costume.
Season 1, they might be back.
We need to do more racing, not just E1, you know, and we need to raise the level of the drivers in the team.
So this season, we're trying to be competitive. We're trying to climb more towards the mid-table.
I would love to get in the top 10.
I'm looking to improve my skills even more and have a good time.
I1 Racing is still at the very beginning of their journey, and I see big things in the future for them.
Watch out for those I1 Racing cars in the nice blue. They're going to be incredibly fast. They're going to be really hard to overtake. So just watch out. We'll be coming straight to the front.
Is that Challenger a top Hong Kong team?
They do have a lot of e-racing experience.
Hi, I'm Daniel, the team manager for Challenger Racing. Our team has been responsible for several esports championships before. The Renault Sport Asia program that we have organized, and now the Challenger Cup that we organize in Hong Kong. So I believe we have a thorough understanding of the technicalities behind sim racing.
They're a really good team and they've got great drivers. They've got Jay and of course Jack Tin. Both are regional champions.
Jack Ding Chunks, he's got himself up into the top 10. Jay Yang currently in P16.
我係 Jackie 嚟自香港。
I'm Jay Yang from Taiwan.
We basically find drivers who have worked for us in the past, so we have basic understanding of how they drive and how their potentials are.
之前有同 Set Challenger 入面嘅成員有參加過啲比賽，佢就覺得我表現 OK， 咁今次就邀請埋我一齊。
They had a Z Challenger Cup here in Taiwan. Got in 5th place at the finals. Z Challenger approached me and wanted me to be their driver.
Their personalities suit our team, and that's how we decide and recruit drivers for the Set Challenger program.
Jack Tin is one of the best drivers in the region in RaceRoom.
應該12歲就玩呢個 PlayStation 嘅 GT 開始，跟住慢慢玩下就開始認真玩，跟住就參加唔同嘅比賽。上一次參加第一場算係測試啦，咁參加個成績都唔係咁好啦。今年想再挑戰下自己，睇下可唔可以攞到更好嘅成績。
Jay Young is our resident Taiwanese driver.
He's a Taiwanese champion.
I think I was like a car guy even before I was born. Started playing some initiality arcade, and that eventually drove me into sim racing. I've joined ERacing, which is a racing league that's based in Taiwan. Z Challenger Cup last year was definitely one of the most memorable ones, and I've met a lot of different people, and they gave me a lot of support, and that's why I'm here today.
He is ahead of our Muhammad Ali Hamilton. Jack Din Chung is still holding on to P3, but he's got Josh Berwin on his tail.
I hope I can finish every single event.
期望就可以同到其他車手可以有個好刺激嘅比賽。
It's gonna be very exciting.
盡我自己能揸得最好。
Welcome back to the E1 Championship Season 1. We've just wrapped up Race 1 at Round 6 here at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Z Challenger we just saw on your screens. It's a team that we've heard a lot about this season, of course, making their debut in the E1 Championship. They've got a lot of experience, but what else do they need to do to be up there in the top 5 consistently?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they'll be disappointed with how this year's going. I mean, especially with Jack Tin. Jack Tin is, he won the Asia Pacific TCR Challenge in RaceRoom, so we know what a good driver is. And I watched that race; he did everything perfectly. Just probably taking a bit longer to get up to speed with the FX17 car. Hopefully they'll stick around for the next season though, because they're sort of team that should be racing the front, and I'm sure with a bit of time they will.
Well, you can't blame them. The FRX17 is a difficult car to drive, and Zandvoort is a difficult track to race on. Yeah. As we saw in Race 1, let's go and take a look at the highlights.
Okay, here's the start. You see the flash car, the orange car on the inside, but Ayman Hakim drove around the outside to take the lead. However, Alif was soon able to take back the lead. Then this a little bit further back, Taruna here leading the two Stratos cars. And you can see them dicing. But up at the front, Alif was winning from Hakim. We saw then both Nabil and Nakib from Stratos Motorsports have a bad race. Had to come out for punches. There in the front though, we saw Alif winning from RSG, Ayman Hakim in second, and then we got the JMX Phantom cars, Rahmat and Martono in third and fourth.
And I think that's the closest we've seen our top 2 drivers finish in Season 1 so far. Here's a look at the points and the results after Race 1, with Alif Hamilton in P1 bagging yet another 25 points. Ayman Hakim, the boy in blue, back on the podium, exactly where we're used to having him after his performance in Season 0. Fadli Rahmat, the Indonesian driver, once again chipping away and getting closer and closer up to the front, exactly where he knows he should be. All right, we've got time for a few interviews. Alex, let's go and speak to Ayman Hakim of Team RSG.
Hakim.
Ayman. Walk us through that start. That was an incredible start. We've spoken about how important qualifying is, but you started on P2 and you managed to come out P1 after the first corner.
Obviously starting at the, sometimes starting at 4th position might not be the best thing. Depends on the track. Obviously this track, you gotta start on the other side of the track. So I knew that I have an advantage down into turn 1. So I just, done it. I didn't know it actually worked. So till I saw Alif was behind me, but yeah, eventually he catch me up and make the pass as well through how I did in the first turn. So Yeah, congrats to him for that.
Yep, for sure. Good to see you back on the podium. We were looking at your speed on the middle section of the track. It looked like that your biggest downfall was you didn't have enough speed at the top of the straight. Are you going to change your gearing going into race 2?
Well, it depends, but because this track is generally it's very hard to overtake, so maybe yes, maybe no. You need to just conserve some of your fuel as well, so maybe we change it.
All right, well, thank you very much, Alex. I guess we can't talk about Eddie's strategy at all. We know these drivers won't give away their secrets. Thank you, Ayman. Congratulations. We'll see you in race 2.
Yeah.
All right, we got time for one more interview. Let's speak to Nakib Aslan.
Yeah, let's speak to Nakib. See what happened in his race.
Hello.
Nakib.
Disappointed.
What happened?
It was really damage limitation. We knew that coming into this round. We had the most ballast, and with a track like this where there's so many more corners than straights, it was definitely going to be difficult. But we were looking good, holding P3 quite comfortably. Fadli got a run, and yeah, we had a slight rub, and unfortunately it gave me a puncture. Nothing wrong on Fadli's side. He drove really well. Fair play to him. He did a clean overtake. But it's just one of those things where, yeah, it could have been avoided, and somehow the physics just don't allow it.
Oh dear. All right, well, I'm sure you're going to be thinking about the championship now. All the points coming into play, job points, double points. We won't disturb you too much as you prepare for race 2. I'm sure there's a lot of strategy going on the Stratos Motorsport side. But tough luck. I'm sure you'll bounce back in race 2, and we'll see you then. All right, we've got a race 2 coming up very shortly. We've got a top 15 reverse grid.
Yep.
We've got a lot more to unpack. We can talk more about strategy, but first, a very short commercial break before race 2. Don't go anywhere.
As we look back at the last 5 rounds,
it's really been a bit of a 2-horse race.
Round 3 at Watkins Glen has probably been the best race for the team so far.
Overall, I think the best have been at Watkins Glen, where we managed to get quite a few points.
Well, definitely it was in Watkins Glen.
We were able to put both cars into the top 10.
Suzuka was probably our best. We had both drivers won the points.
Suzuka was definitely the best race for Team RSG.
But that would be one of the best performances so far this season.
My team had the best result in round 5 Aragon track.
Starting from P24 and finishing in P15.
Aragon was definitely the best for me as I achieved the best results that I could have got.
At the last round at Motorland Aragon, Kalen Chin bagged his first win.
Race 1, I was spun out of P3. I guess it's something good out of something bad.
Nakib Aslan coming back at the top step of the podium in race 1.
Last round in Aragon was definitely an important one. We had a 1-2-3 in race 1 for Stratos. James, as always, the mastermind behind all of it.
I wouldn't have the cojones to do exactly what James Russell did. He made the call. It's a big call in all ways. That's why I talk about it, and James Russell is a manager. Nabil has huge potential, and if you can just find a couple more tenths of that, he'll be right up there.
The brother pairing will definitely bring more of a track.
I know they work very well hand in hand.
It's always more fun having a part of the family in the same team.
I was pretty nervous, tried to reach up to Nakib's expectations.
That weekend in Aragon, the pace wasn't there for Safe House.
I made a bit of a rookie error trying to use DRS in a place that I hadn't tried it before, and also picked up a puncture.
Mika Hakimi putting in a strong P4 finish.
When the collision with Leona happened, it took me out of the DRS zone to Josh. I was really annoyed, but I also kept dropping further and further back, which eventually ruined my race.
Hello Mika, I'm really sorry I had contact with you.
Jack Tin Chung starting on pole position twice. He really did struggle off the line.
Going into the final 3 rounds of the season, we go to Zandvoort first, which is kind of fast and flowing. And then we go to Hungary, very tight and twisty. And then we go to Nürburgring, the more typical Formula 1 track.
It's not going to be easier.
I haven't driven much of Zandvoort really.
I think the most difficult track will be Nürburgring.
I would say Zandvoort is the most challenging.
Definitely has to be Zandvoort. It's such a tight track.
Tonight we're racing at Zandvoort in the Netherlands.
Qualification, I think, for once, is going to have a massive impact.
It is a tricky track.
It's all covered with gravel and grass. us off track. That's something we have to overcome.
Try to improve our setups and our lap times.
Hopefully we can get a better result, maybe in the top 5 again.
I'm pretty confident about it.
Now I would like to try to build up my points a lot more.
Looking forward to racing this track. Yeah, just drive like we normally do and have fun.
For me, it's one of the hardest, if not the hardest track on our calendar, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how our drivers navigate it tonight.
Hello and welcome back to the E1 Championship. We've just wrapped up race 1 at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. We're at round 6 of 8. Zandvoort, an extremely difficult track, and it's given us some incredible racing. I think that's the closest photo finish we've had in Season 1 so far, with Alif Hamilton once again bagging a win in Season 1, and Nakib Aslan falling down the order with a tire puncture. We'll have a look at the effect that that has on the Drivers' Championship later on in the show. But coming up next, we have race 2. The drivers are on track in practice. The race is going to start very, very shortly. So to walk you through that action, I'm going to hand it over to Des and Alex in the commentary box.
Thanks very much. Yes, Alex, this Alif Hamilton is some driver. The
Yeah.
pressure he was under.
Yeah, I mean, he's under super pressure, but you could see that even from qualifying. Whenever we came to him, his answers were short. He was looking at the screen. He's very much focused. He wants to win this championship, and he's just, wow, what a result. When the chips are down, he had a bad round 6, and to bounce back and just dominate. Not quite dominate, but you know what I mean. Take pole position, and the win was impressive.
However, if he was to not get a good result in this race, and he starts from P15, it's as far as down the grid as he possibly can on the reverse grid race, and it's a difficult circuit to overtake, there's a danger he might be out of the points.
Yeah.
And that would be a bad round for him.
That would be a bad round for him. But that means I think he and Nakib would both have bad rounds. But yes.
But the Nakib bad round was just 3 points. Yeah. So Nakib loses 3. Alif would be losing 23 or something.
Yeah, but he's got another round with 20 something. So Alif would know this. You know, so Alif would be like, I don't need to be a hero here. I just need to make sure I can finish in the top 6 or 7, and this is a really good round for me. And he'll be thinking about that, because he'll be thinking what you're thinking as well, which is if I have a bad round, don't score any points, that's it, all my good work is done, and suddenly I'm under pressure for the next round.
Okay, as for the guys who will be near the top of the starting line, Miko Nasi, who we didn't speak about really beforehand, he's up and down, inconsistent, but if he's starting at the front of the grid, he'll be difficult to get past.
Yeah. We've learned never to discount Miko Nasi. We know it can be a bit up and down. Like you said, he finished, I think, in the high teens just now. So, but yeah, when he's on song, he's on song. Difficult first race for Safe House, though, because both the drivers are struggling a bit.
We've just got 30 seconds or so of practice before we go into race 2. I need to ask you about the avoidance tactics of Hoi Dang and the Vietnamese racers. When they were under pressure as the leaders were coming past them, we saw them fly off the circuit. Not textbook, was it?
Well, I think maybe because the hero's complaining about back markers sometimes affecting the lead battle. So they're like, right, I'm not going to put any risk here. He just went right off the track, didn't he?
It was fabulous to watch, fabulous to watch. And Leona Chin doing very well as well. Not quite as evasive. Didn't quite avoid being lapped, but good effort from Leona. And we'll speak more of her and to her in next week's show. But our focus now, Alex, must go towards race number 2. Reverse grid race. The first 15 of race number 1 are reversed, and so the man in P15, that might well be the likes of a Miko or a Josh. No, Josh finished P5, didn't he?
Yeah.
I wasn't quite alert enough to see who was P15.
Yeah,
Looking forward to seeing what the graphic says.
Yeah, we should have been alert to that, shouldn't we? But we were busy swinging balls around and all sorts of things, the wheel around and stuff. Anyway, so it could be, Inigo Anton was there. Like you said, Miko Nasi should have been there as well. And then we'll see who's on top. I mean, we'll see who can get a good race. This track is difficult to overtake, and as far as we're concerned for the championship leader, he needs to find his way to the front as well.
Nakib Aslan must pick up some points, because he's had a disastrous 3-pointer round already. So he needs to pick up as many as he possibly can. He'll be starting from right at the back because he didn't finish the previous race.
Yeah. Did he didn't finish? I think he finished the race. So
he went into the pits, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
he had a tyre change.
Yeah.
Because he said he got fastest lap, didn't he?
He got fastest lap. It's still only 2 points. Right then, we are on board. Nakib, actually, I tell you a little fib. Nakib is the man who is on pole position.
Wow.
Gosh.
So Nakib has a chance to redeem his weekend.
There is a turn up for the books, and we are on board with Nakib Aslan as he starts and gets off to a rock-solid start. Is Nakib, who leads from Inigo Anton, Miko Nasi in P3, Alistair Young in 4, Jay Yang in 5, Ayman Hazik in P6. But that is a touch of fortune for Nakib Aslan, and forgive me for not paying attention. It could affect the championship.
It could. If he can get 25 points and then Alif has a bad second race, then absolutely it's going to turn it all around again.
Wow.
But he's got a very fast driver behind him. He's got Inigo Anton. And Inigo Anton, let's not forget, guys, has not won a race in E1 yet. He'll be desperate to win his first race.
So there is Inigo Anton and Miko Nasi and Nakib Aslan leading the way. Miko Nasi not far behind. And Alistair, your boy, he's got off to a decent start as well. He started off high. He's kept P4 at the moment. We're on board here with Inigo Anton. And interesting to see if he'll be able to utilize DRS. He won't overtake in this first lap, you suspect.
They've got Miko Nasi there in P3 as well. He'll be strong for sure.
Jay Yang just had a little bit of a wobble further down. Further down, Muhammad Alif Hamilton has made up one position. Fadli Rahmat's up to P13. But Nakib is leading the way as they come round that corner. We're into the intricate part of the circuit. He and Inigo have pulled a full second clear, you know.
Wow, and Jackton Chung's also done a good job. P5, the Hong Kong driver, we were just praising him earlier on. It's good to see him up there in the top 5 with Arwin Turuna in the black safe house car right behind him.
Jackton Chung currently P5, Turunya behind him in P6. Up at the front, I can tell you, Nakib Aslan is under pressure from Inigo Anton. This is the battle for P1, the lime green of Stratos. Nakib needs the points here. No two ways about that. He needs the 25 plus the fastest lap. He somehow needs to get as close to 30 as he can and hope that Muhammad Alif Hamilton can't get into the points and has a bad weekend.
We have to follow this, don't we? GT radio driver Inigo Anton. Couple more corners to go, and then he'll have DRS down the start-finish straight. I hope they've geared this car longer. We saw Ayman couldn't overtake because he'd geared the car too short. But if GT Radio have got the sums right, he's got the DRS now. Maybe he'll be able to get close enough on Nakib.
Nakib in the lime green. They come to the Tarzan corner. Oh, he's right close. He's got this shortest straight. There's very few long straights. That's what makes this so difficult a track to overtake on, Alex.
Yeah, it is. It is so tough indeed. Miko Nasi's hanging on there as well in P3. There he is. You're right. Black Arts Racing, Alistair Young in P4. Arwin Turuna now. He's up to 5th.
Tadashi has got up to P6. What a drive that is from Ayman Hakim.
Good job by Tadashi, P6. Kalen Chin, P7. Jackton Chung down to P8 now. And he's got his teammate Jay Young right behind him as well.
So there's 5 and 6. Arwin Turunya currently in P5 as we have a little look around at the Z Challenger team. Let's see also where Muhammad Alif is. Alex, I'm going to have to ask you just to break away. Alif is up to P9.
Wow, yeah, he's done a good job. Just overtook one of the Z Challenger cars. He's got the other Z Challenger car, Jackton Chung, just ahead of him. So P9, that's good. That's perfect, really, for where he's at this point of the race. He'll be hoping to get the top 5. We know Alif. He'll want the win even. But back at the front, he'll have to beat these two guys first right now. Nakib, wow. Inigo Anton right all over the back of him, and Miko Nasi just starting to drop back a little bit from the pair of them.
Right then, very interesting. I'm going to ask you about this. Nearly all of the top racers are on soft compound tyres. All on soft. That means pit stop, surely.
Surely. There can no way they can do a pit stop, I feel, for half an hour race. They can make it all the way, so they'll have to do a pit stop. The only guys on medium are the Z Challenger cars, Jackton Chung and Jay Chung, who are now in 9th and 10th position. Surprised they went to the mediums. So mediums don't really give that much durability over the hards. So people tend to either go the hards or the softs. They kind of leave the mediums. But obviously Z Challenger, maybe they know something and maybe they can make the mediums work. But yeah, it's counted these two cars to pit a bit later than everyone else because everyone else around them are on the softs.
Let's get back up to the front where Nakib Aslan is still leading the way. It's Inigo Anton has been dragged around. Miko Nasi is there as well. Those three have got themselves a 2.5 second lead over Alistair Young, who's 2.5 seconds clear of Arwin Turunya. But this could be fascinating.
Oh, he's getting closer. Someone just comes out of the pits. That's Josh Perwin, who's just come out of the pits in front of him. See, there's Josh Perwin. He's obviously had an issue. He's had to pit. Maybe he had a puncture. And he's come out on the soft tyres. So he'll need to pit again. So disaster for Josh Perwin. And he's got the leaders right behind him. Josh, who's capable of being as quick as the leaders, he's going to have to let him go, I guess.
Well, Josh got a P5 in race number 1, so it must have been a bit of a nightmare for him at the start of race 2. Now then, can you manage tyres, soft tyres, for 25 minutes around Zandvoort? Will that be his gamble? He can't surely go in twice.
Not around Zandvoort, I would have felt. Oh, he goes wide then, he's off. Oh, disaster for Josh. It's just all going wrong for him as the leaders go by. So yeah, it's a shame about Josh. Not having a good day.
Nope, so we will forget all about Josh Berwin. Naki, Baslan, Inigo Anton and Miko Nasi are still 1, 2, 3. Alif Hamilton has got himself up into P7. He is inexorable, is that boy?
Yeah, he is.
What a talent.
Whoa, I tell you what, it looks like Inigo Anton's getting super close at the moment. Let's listen to his car, see if he can get close enough to take the lead. Yeah, he's not topping out in top gear. He's not the rev limiter like Akeem. He just needs to get a bit closer to the second last corner to have a go at Akeem.
I think it's Whelan Choi who's about to become an obstacle for Nakib. He's the EGG racer about to be lapped. Inigo Anton, well, we keep saying with Inigo that he's quick, that he doesn't get the results that maybe he should do. At the moment, here he is in P2, Inigo. Yeah. No podiums, remarkably, so far this season, but a top 10 place in the standings.
Yeah, I mean, no podiums this season. Had no, but, you know, last season had loads of podiums, 3 pole positions. I would really love for Anton to win. It'd be a way of turning around GT Asia's chance season so far, because it's not been a good season for him.
Joaquim Garrido is in the top 10. That's his teammate, as Miko Nasi in P3 is just being dropped a little bit, Alex. All on the soft compound tyres. Miko started off near the front, and Alistair in P4. He and Josh, well, Josh Perwin we've seen was already gone out. Alistair now under pressure from Arwin Tarunya, who can be quick.
Yeah, coming under pressure from Tarun, and then this man, Muhammad Ali from Singapore, back up to 7th position. So he's making his move up the order. If he can catch this gag of cars, that put him back into the top 5.
Muhammad Ali, he's just put in a 1:11.9, which is the fastest lap of this race so far.
Yeah, and he's got Kalen Chin behind him as well, I think.
Yeah, Kalen, we expected Kalen to do well, didn't we?
Yeah.
He didn't really feature in race number 1, Kalen Chin, but he's following Alif, and Alif is following Ayman Akeem. Nakib is still leading the way, but let's just stick with Kalen Chin, Black Wolf Racing. Consistency, we keep saying, for Kalen. Ayman Akeem, wow, what a performance he had in race number 1. As close as you can get to a win, as he has a look on the inside of Arwin Tarunya.
So I'll tell you, so Ayman Akeem is in 6th right now, and Alif in the orange car, just catching up to him, is in 7th. Will Ayman make it easy for Alif to get by? I don't think so. I think he's going to be secretly hurting of losing that race 1, and he's not going to want to let Alif through.
He is one of the more competitive characters out on the scene, that I guarantee. Arwin Tarunya is the man in P5 to the right of your screen as we look. Now then, where are we coming through? Alistair Young feeling the pressure from Tarunya. Ayman Akeem has a look on the inside. This is where he made a brilliant start in race number 1 around Tarzan. Gave it the full welly. Unable to do anything there as Alistair spins off. Alistair Young spins off and out of the race. Or out of contention at least, Alex.
Yeah, shame for him. Well, just one mistake and that's it. That's how close it is. You just put it, half a wheel on the grass and that's it. You go round. You go round.
Young comments on Young. The Axel banner in the background for Alistair now drops down to P8. That's great for Tarunya, who moves up into P4. Tadashi 5. Muhammad Alif inexorably moves up into P6.
That car looks broken. That's it. He's going to go backwards. I think his race is done. Anyway, back at the front. Woof, it's still getting close between Nakib Aslan and Inigo Anton.
And they're pulling clear of Miko Nasi. We had this in race number 1 where the front 2 were able to work hard. Alif was able to hold off incredible pressure from Ayman Akeem. Here, Nakib is working hard to hold off incredible pressure from Inigo Anton. The difference is he's got to do it for another 20 more minutes and include a pit stop.
Yeah, so I wonder when the pit stop's going to come in. I think in the next 5 minutes, we should see some pit stops. It has to be a soft strategy right now. They're both watching each other very carefully. They got the pace right now. Like you said, Mikko Nassi in P3, all by himself in P3, and then this great battle. Ayman Hakim, battle from race number 1 with Alif right there in 6th position. Oh wow, Inigo Anton's got a lot closer now.
He has, hasn't he? He looks like he might be making a move.
So good to see this pace from GT Radio Eurasia. Just not quick in this section of the track. He needs to be faster in the last half of the track. We saw it in race 1. You know, Alif was saying how Ayman was so good in the middle of the track, but he wasn't good in the last bit of the track. And you need to be quick in the last bit of the track, because this last bit here, this leads onto that long start-finish straight, and that's when you need to be close enough to the car. And again, Anton has dropped back, and he'll catch up to Nakib by turn 1, but he won't be close enough to make the overtake.
No, we've seen this several times as they go on to lap number 10. Nakib looks relatively comfortable. Lapping, that last lap was a 1:13, which isn't the fastest. I tell you who's lapping at almost a second a lap faster. Alif Hamilton, who's got up to P5.
Yeah, he is. He's going a lot quicker. Just going at the back a bit. Joaquin Garrido, though, just losing the position to Mika Hakkinen. Mika Hakkinen makes his way through. But he's got Troy Ayman behind him as well, so this is getting close as well. Again, so here we go, middle part of the track. Again, Anton looks so quick in this part of the track, but then this next corner, turn 10 and 11, he's not good through here. And look at that, Nakib pulls away, and that is the critical difference. It's a bit like race 1 we're seeing. Anton strong in the middle sector of the track, not strong in the last sector of the track.
But if he stays close, it then becomes who's fastest in the pits,
yeah,
who can gamble more, who puts in slightly less fuel, or who maybe just changes 2 front tyres and gambles.
Yeah, so now this is a great battle for P3. Mikko Nassi not having the pace today to run with the front, and he's now got Ayman Hakim and Alif Hamilton all over the back of him.
There is Ayman Hakim, and he'll have the DRS on Mikko Nassi, and you suspect that he made a late move there, but Mikko experienced enough to defend. Tadashi spins, loses 1, 2, 3 places, tries to get back, but that is evasive action, and another expletive deleted from Ayman Hakim Tadashi.
Disaster for RSG. Another team that's having a very, very poor day. Let's go back at the front though. Mikko Nassi then still holds on a P3. Interestingly enough, Mikko Nassi is running very low downforce, which is not the way to go, I think, for lap time around this track. You want to have high downforce, but what it does mean is he's very difficult to overtake, because down the start-finish straight, Hakim could not get close enough to overtake. So where else are the opportunities? It's got to be down the start-finish straight, unless you can mug him somewhere. We have to watch this battle right now, because look, Alif is definitely quicker. Alif in the Team Flash orange car is definitely quicker than Mikko Nassi. But Nassi seems to have better straight-line speed. But let's see if well, compared to the RSG car at least, let's see if the Team Flash car can make its way by.
This is the battle for P3. We're on board with Alif Hamilton, who won race number 1, and looks down the inside. He just put his pedal right to the floor and made a nonsense of your argument, Alex.
Yeah, he did. So, this is where the strategy of the teams come into play. So, like, Safehouse and Flash are running a bit less downforce so they can be quick down the straight. But RSG have obviously gone for maximum downforce, low gearing, and that's why they're not able to overtake down the straight.
We saw Lance Lau just step out the way there very obligingly for Mikko Nassi. Now then, Nakib and Inigo Anton up at the front as we focused on the brilliance of Alif Hamilton, who's got himself into P3. This is another high-scoring round for Alif Hamilton. I'm so pleased that you've actually put double points on the last round of the season. Otherwise, it could be celebrating the title beforehand. But Nakib still faces the pressure from Inigo Anton. GT Radio, your Asian Motorsport, looking for his first podium of the season. Another backmarker gets out of the way. But where is the way past? We saw Alif show that it can be done on this straight.
Oh, they're both going for the pit lane. Nicely done. They're both deciding to stop at the same time as they come into the pit lane. Wow, so Softs can just about do half distance. This is a lap earlier than I expected.
Nassi is in the pits.
Nassi's in the pits too. And what about...
Alif's in the pits.
Oh, wow. So it is. We're all of them into the pits right now. Who's going to be able to get out faster?
So the new race leader is Arwin Tarunya. Kalen Chin, sorry, is the new race leader. He has stayed out. So it's about this time. I always ask the question, and can somebody do a no-stopper? I'm sure the answer is no. But one day somebody's going to prove me wrong. Kalen Chin, the new race leader.
Yeah, Kalen Chin there, looking very good there. So he's done a good job of making his tyres last. In the past, there have been races where he's chewed through his tyres too fast, but done a good job again of making the tyres last. This should move him up the leaderboard. It'll be interesting to see how many more laps he can go.
His last lap was a 1:14.2, not quick. That suggests that the tyres are not gripping onto the sand-covered Zandvoort circuit. Troy Iman is the man in P2 right behind him. His last lap, a 1:14.4.
Yeah, so they're just losing too much time now. They have to come into pit, and I think that's going to see. We're riding on board with Troy, and now there's Kalen Chin. Kalen Chin, Black Wolf, WOT Performance Racing. They will be coming to the pit now, I feel. He can't keep going, can he? Yeah, he comes to the pit. Troy will be coming to the pit too, and that will put Nakib back in front.
Well, here is Nakib Aslam. He is the race leader from... Yeah,
Inigo
Nakib
Anton.
has stayed. Inigo, what's happened to... Yeah, Inigo is there, 1 second behind.
Inigo Anton as they make their way through traffic. Further back, though, let's see how it's going there. Mikko Nasi again fighting with Alif. Mikko just makes it easy, lets Alif go through. I think he just knows he doesn't have the pace today. Oh, but then Mikko comes back at him.
Wow,
wow,
that's strange.
I thought he was making it easy, but he's not.
We just saw, let's mark this in your calendar, ladies and gentlemen, Alif Hamilton made a mistake.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. He just made a mistake on the inside, allowed Nasi just by taking the wider line, it's taking the longer way round, but you can carry more speed, and I think he was able to get on the throttle earlier.
Well, maybe he thought he'd been a naughty boy and decided to give the position back. We'll have a look at that. Protests, haven't heard too many protests. It's not a track that invites protests, is it? Or is it?
Well, it's because it's so hard to get side by side, but often when they do get side by side, there's often contact. So some days it can be no protest here, some days it can be a lot of protests here.
We are beyond halfway. Indeed, we're approaching the final stages, and another opportunity maybe for Mikko Nasi to test your theory that downforce on the home straight is the only place where Alif is able to get past him. We are on board with Alif Hamilton. We are on the home straight. Last time we had this view, Alif had the DRS and overtook on the inside. Just about now, once again, he's able to do it. Nasi obliged and he pulls out the way. Alif moves into P3.
Nice job by the Singaporean. Alif after P3. That's exactly what he wants. P3 right now. He'll take that from here because this is great for his championship.
That would mean a 25 and 16, 41 plus 5, 46-point weekend.
Right, it's a good weekend, isn't it? 46 points.
Yeah.
Anywhere close to 15 is an excellent, excellent weekend.
At the front, Inigo Anton still chases Nakib Aslam. At no time have we really had the impression that Inigo Anton's going to be able to take P1.
No, he needs to find something. This section of the track is where he's just not quick enough. So he's not able to get close enough to Nakib to make use of that DRS. It's just interesting as a team because you've done all your work before the race. You've done your setup, you've done, okay, this is how we drive, this is how we work. But is there anything they can do right now? Is there anything they can tell Anton? Say, why don't you try this? Maybe try a different line here because you need to be closer to Nakib in the crucial area. So you come to this first sector of the lap, they're pretty even, actually. This first sector, not so bad. But then coming out this next corner, this is where Anton is quicker than Nakib. He's really good through the second sector of this lap, gets super close. So for me, I think Anton and the engineers should be telling me this. He needs to try and dive bomb Nakib where he's not expecting it. And a good place to do that is perhaps into turn 10. Yeah, this next right-hander turn 10. If you can get closer, you can dive bomb someone at the inside there. It's a high-risk move. But if you want to win the race, I think sometimes you need to try a high-risk move.
That's the Renault Bock corner that maybe we will keep a look at in the next 10 minutes or so. I'm sure the engineers may well be just listening. It's worth it because Inigo isn't going to win the title. He's only an outside chance of a top 5 place, so you may as well go for a big score to try to get into the top 5 and into the $1,000 prize money.
Yeah.
But at the moment, Nakib still leads. This is the straight, if he can get close. But as you say, every time, he's just not close enough.
Yeah, he's not close enough. I think Nakib's got him covered. And when you, because as a driver, you can see in your background, he's looking there, okay, I've worked it out, I know what he's doing, I know what to do. And Nakib's too experienced now. He's been doing this for a couple of years now, and it's going to be very hard for him to get back.
Behind them, let me just throw this one at you. More than a second a lap is being made up by Alif Hamilton. He made, the last lap time, he made 1.3 seconds on Nakib Aslam.
Could Alif catch that battle for the lead? There's an 8-second gap between them. Let's go back to Alif right now. There you see him, the orange flash car. 8 seconds to make up, but 9 minutes to go.
7 seconds?
I don't think that's going to be enough time.
This is Alif.
You're right. we should watch that. But he's looking pretty good at the moment.
Singaporean in P3 just put in a lap time of 1:10.8.
Here's his teammate right now, Jason Tay. He's trying to fight the other GT Radio teammate of Inigo Anton, which is Joaquin Garrido. Garrido there in the white car, just ahead of Jason Tay. But Jason Tay using DRS, getting really close right now. This is the battle for 6th position.
Jason Tay tries to make the move. He's very much the understated junior pawn of that Team Flash combination, but my word, he's made a really, really good fist of it. I think that's one of the Vietnamese guys have pushed out. Jason Tay will try and use the DRS. Defensive work there from Garrido, but Tay goes around the outside, will go into the corner first. Jason Tay moves up into P6 ahead of Joaquin Garrido.
I'm happy to see Garrido in 7th, though. This is a good job by the Filipino driver. He's not normally in the top 10, and it's great to see him. You know, he's driving well. He looks like he deserves to be there. Not all over, though. Right behind him, though, Troy Iman is closing in on that battle as well.
Certainly is. One or two little interesting battles raging lower down the field. Troy Iman in P8 at the moment. Ayman Haziq, who qualified once again. The ERGP cars do well to qualify. If they get into the top 10, it's good for Ayman Haziq. He's been relatively consistent, picked up points throughout the season, Ayman. 42 points in total, 15th in the standings.
Yeah, good job by him. I mean, these drivers in the ERGP car have to qualify through the leaderboard. They're not part of a team. They just qualify in the weekly leaderboard. And if the top 2 at the end of the week on Saturday night, if they're the 2 quickest, they qualify and they get a chance to race with the pros.
Having given just some TLC to Ayman Haziq, let's have a look at Mohamed Zini, who's in P13 at the moment, Alex. He's a long way down, but this is the other guy who's qualified. And I know you're a big fan of young Mohamed Zini.
Yeah, Zini's improved very quickly. He's not been doing this that long at all, but he's improving at a very fast rate of knots. So good to see him improving. Yeah, he's definitely a driver for the future.
So Mohamed Zini will not really trouble the men at the very front. The man at the front is still Nakib Aslam, who's still leading the way. They do a little bit of overtaking past the back markers, but again, he's looking comfortable, even though the man behind him has got DRS lap after lap after lap.
Yeah, this is going to be so frustrating for GT Radio, because they know their boy Inigo Anton can win. And, well, like I said, he's one driver that deserves a win, but just not able to be quick enough at the last sector to close it, to make use of the DRS.
Once again, the EGG cars are just obligingly pulling out of the way. Good that they're using their mirrors, because you wouldn't want to see a race win thwarted by a backmark. Or maybe it might be fun for a commentary.
You would love that.
I'd love it, of course. Nakib is leading the way. Inigo Anton P2. Mohammed Alif, Alex, 5 seconds.
He's getting closer,
He's getting closer. He's going to have a shot. If he can get to DRS on the last lap, you can almost imagine a last sprint on the line, overtaking on the last lap. It'd be typical Alif.
And there is Alif. He's got the fastest lap of the race. Real great master show by him. But nah, I think he's too far away. He's too far away from these two. It's going to be, what, 3 more laps to go? I don't think he can do it in 3 laps.
More laps, Alex. There's 5.5 minutes to go. That's 5 laps. Well, this plus 4.
4 laps.
This plus 4. And he's making a second. Okay, maybe there's a reason why you're the expert.
You can't see him in the background, though. There he is.
There he is, Alex. Don't write him off. It's 3.5 seconds. 3.5 seconds.
Just showing his class, really, isn't he? Alif. What a great job.
Nakib 1, Inigo 2. Inigo will come under pressure from Alif Hamilton.
There is Alif Hamilton.
5 minutes to go. There's 4 laps left. This plus 4. Or this plus 3.
This plus 3.
That'll be the interesting one. Alif motoring through, just posted a 1:11.3, a full second faster. Mohammed Nabil further down in P11, hasn't been able to make much headway. There he is, he's in a battle there with Ayman Hazik and Fadli Rakhmat, who was in the points in race number 1. Got a podium, did Fadli, he's in fine form, Fadli Rakhmat, but it'll be P11 here, chasing just a couple of smaller points to help the JMX Phantom Championship charge.
Goes down, looks down the inside, that was brave. That's not a corner you stick your nose down the inside, you end up in the barriers.
Isn't that where you suggested that Inigo Anton has a go at Nakib?
A couple corners later than that one. But yeah, so it's a good battle heating up here. Ayman Hazik in 8th position, Nabil in 9th, Fadli Rakhmat in 10th.
Josh Perwin, we had a quick look at him there, as once again has a look around the inside of Ayman Hazik. Fadli Rakhmat closing in, Kalen Chin just behind them. Nabil on the back of Ayman.
Yeah, he's going to come under big pressure here. Nabil comes to the last corner. Oh, he's definitely close enough, isn't he?
He is. Is he defensive work from Ayman Hazik? He can't make a second move. Nabil tries to go around the outside, has to slingshot round. Has he been able to get the drive out? He's got the corner, he's got the line. Nabil, well, it's only 1 up to P8, but what a maneuver.
Yeah, a great move that was by Nabil. Very, very well done. Very risky to go around the outside, and he performed it to perfection.
If we could quickly have a look at P4, Alex, where Miko Nassi is coming under pressure from Mika Hakimi.
Wow, Mika Hakimi, he's done, for me, the drive of the day. He started dead last. He had a problem with his computer, could not get into the race 1 in time, so he missed qualifying in race 1. So he's coming to race 2 cold, started at the very back, and he's up to 5th position.
And chasing Miko Nassi, and will have the opportunity. Mika Hakimi, a 1:12.897 last time out. He's had a look on the inside there of Miko Nassi. This is a veteran versus a youngster, and he's got the DRS on the back of Nassi. Nassi, though, with the downforce, just able to defend, going into Tarzan.
Yeah. Just doesn't have the straight line speed, does he? I love your Tarzan, by the way. If you're Tarzan, Daniel's Jane.
He'll love that. Team Safe House with Miko Nassi. He's going to have to defend and defend and defend. Alex, I need to take you up to the front. Alif Hamilton is just 2 seconds adrift of Inigo Anton.
Yeah, Anton's dropped off. He doesn't have the pace anymore. I think maybe he's suffering a tire wear because he's just way dropped off the pace. Nakib's 2.5 seconds up the road now. And I tell you what, Anton's going to start coming to pressure from Alif.
Alif has got to get past the back marker first, the EGG purple and yellow, and then he is going to be right on the tail of Inigo Anton. There are 1:41 to go, 2 laps to go, Alex.
2 laps
this
to
plus
go.
1. As the lovely Brunei colours go through, we haven't given Lance and Ben Seek much TLC today. Who's that?
Yeah.
There's Inigo Anton. He goes past the Brunei. There's Alif just caught up by the Brunei racers, but with 2 laps to go, I would wager a lot of Daniel's money that Mohammed Alif Hamilton will take over Inigo Anton.
You got it right. You're not right. You're not wrong. Sorry, Inigo Anton is just looking no pace at the moment.
Inigo's last lap, a 1:14.5. Nakib's last lap, a 1:14.1. Ali's last lap, a 1:12.4. Not only P2 is in his sights. Now too far behind for Nakib, surely. But this is the battle for P2. Alif looking to make it a phenomenal 50-point weekend. Started in P15. Inigo, having been chasing Nakib for so long, suddenly finds himself on the defensive. And as they come into the last lap, Alif Hamilton uses the DRS, eases his way into P2.
What a great drive by champion-elect almost. I know there's 2 more corners to go, 2 more rounds to go, but this is a real drive of the champion. If Alif wins this championship, this is one of the races where I'll look back and go, wow, that was a really mega performance.
Behind them, Mika Hakimi, I can tell you, has got himself into P4. He's got past Miko Nasi. Brilliant drive by Mika Hakimi. Maybe we'll talk to him later to find out just how he did so well in race number 2. Nasi never had the pace in P5. Jason Tay in P6. Hakimi, great job by him. There is Alif in P2. Won't catch up with Nakib Aslan. And there is the man who is going to take the win in race number 2. But even in victory, he knows that this weekend will not be able to match up Alif Hamilton. And so Alif will extend his lead in the championship standings. But coming through 14 and 15, the race winner of race number 2 in Zandvoort is Nakib Aslan from Malaysia, ahead of Alif Hamilton, P3. First podium of the season for Inigo Anton from the Philippines.
Wow, well done. Good job. Good podium by Inigo Anton, but a great job by Nakib Aslan as well. He had to pick himself up after race 1. Race 1, when he scored no points, to pick himself up for that phenomenal job.
And hopefully we'll be able to have a quick word with Nakib. Alex is just looking to get onto the right communications channel, but it's a relieved rather than ecstatic looking Nakib Aslan. Alex, take it away.
Yeah, Nakib Aslan, I know it was a tough day for you. Race 1 didn't go according to schedule, but race 2, that was perfect. Talk us through it.
Well, it was a benefit for us that we started on the front row, especially on pole. So the important thing was to get a good start, and we did that, and we just, from there, just maintain our race, look after the tires, and maintain the gap to Inigo, who was driving really well, you know, kept me on my toes. But yeah, all in all, I think it was a good salvation for what was, but still slightly disappointed. So yeah.
Chin up. 2 more rounds to go, I suppose. What are you going to do for next week? Can you find more pace? What's the next race?
Yeah, so definitely I think this week was quite hard for us. I think we were really struggling with pace coming into this week. But definitely next week into Hungaroring, and especially the last round with the double points, is going to be very crucial to find the pace and get on the ground running. So hopefully, yeah, me and my team will be working really hard for it.
Okay, well done.
Stratos Motorsports it was who took the victory. Alif, a remarkable drive from P15 down to P2 to work out all the analysis. I'm sure Dan will take us through to the end of the show.
Thank you very much, Des. An exciting 2 races down at Zandvoort. We've got a lot more analysis to come at the tail end of the show. But first, let's go and take a little bit of a deep dive with Team Safehouse.
Safehouse is a Korean-Singaporean collaboration. There are 2 owners, very much motorsport enthusiasts, do their own racing at the same time.
My name is Arun Taruna.
Hi, I'm Mick Fanassi from Team Safehouse.
Safehouse Racing is a team that always has a strong driver lineup, and that's because they have Miko Nasti.
He's a real-world driver that became a sim driver.
Miko Nasi is somebody who I've watched race.
He has incredible racecraft.
He's an excellent driver coach. He's one of the best driver coaches in the region.
My interest in motorsport started way back when I was 8 years old or even younger. In Finland, I got into kart racing, and that basically stayed with me, doing lots of kart racing in Malaysia and the region, and some races in Europe.
Miko Nasi's been doing a lot of sim driving over the years, so he could adapt quite quickly.
Arwin Taruna is a driver that made his debut into the top 10 in Suzuka with a P6.
He's another who I've seen in ERacing as incredibly quick.
Especially when he gets in front, because you're able to churn out those lap times within a tenth of each other.
The spark was ignited when I saw Michael Schumacher won his 3rd World Championship. From then on, I was very keen on motorsports. 2010, I bought my first wheel. 2 years later, I found a local community called SimRacer Indonesia, and then I've been doing some leagues.
He needs to get used to the car a bit more.
Learn a little bit more from his teammate and put it all together.
They started the season on the back foot. They didn't prepare enough before the season, didn't get the team together enough. They had last-minute driver changes at the very last minute. Surugaya from Thailand came in last minute, and then he couldn't continue. And Arwin Taruna came in without any preparation.
Season 1 is very competitive.
I know there's a few new teams and really good drivers that I know from some other series that have joined in.
I'm looking forward to working with Mikamasi.
And hopefully we put on a good show.
My name's Inigo Anton.
My name is Joaquin Garida.
I'm Mark Goddard, team principal of GT Radio Eurasia. We're a Philippine-based team. We're a real-world team, probably one of the most successful in the region. And we also have raced globally. So we're a mix of real-world and sim race.
GT Radio Eurasia is very interesting because both their drivers come from motorsports backgrounds. They've just recently come into Sims, and it was surprising to see how quick they were.
Inigo Anton is leading a little train of 3. It is Joaquin Garrido from the Philippines.
Inigo, we have known of him. His father, Carlos Anton, was racing at the same time as I was racing before.
They found me out after I joined Alex Young's ERGP.
Joaquin, we actually discovered really through ERGP and local sim races.
Mark, he gave me a call one day. He was like, do you want to join us in the E1 Championship? I was not hesitant just to say yes.
My motorsport interest has always been with me since I was born. My dad being a national champion here in the Philippines, it was looking like I was also wanted to be into racing.
Hi, I'm Carlos Anton, and I'm the father of Inigo Anton. I'm a businessman, and our passion is racing.
Hi, I'm the mom of Inigo. I am a dance teacher. I'm also a racer, used to be.
If it was up to us, then we wouldn't have wanted him to get into racing. But at 1 year old, you wouldn't really know what trophies are or cars. You know, his first words were broom broom. I'm just proudest of him because he's so humble. And I don't think he realizes what he's done in Philippine motorsports.
My interest in motorsport began when my dad brought me to a karting clinic when I was 8. Ever since that, I kept forcing him like, Dad, I want to race karts. My dad brought me to more karting events and then started racing locally, which in my debut race, actually, I finished second.
Season 0 was really a big learning curve for me. I've learned so much.
I felt that we could have done a lot better and we could have finished a lot higher.
Inigo Anton, he's not having a good race 1.
That is not a good 10 seconds in the racing life of Joaquin Garrido.
Inigo Anton and Joaquin Garrido making too many mistakes at the moment, especially in the races.
Well, I would say our biggest obstacle so far is, trying to keep up.
I don't think that the performance has actually dropped. I just think that the performance of all the other drivers on the grid in Season 1 has really elevated.
5th place is just around the corner. I know I could do better, and I know that I can be the top 5 again.
Hello and welcome back. I love the footage there, seeing all the photos that Inigo Anton and Joaquin Garrido have had from their karting careers, their drifting careers, their GT careers, and all of that culminating into the E1 Championship. They had a very strong performance in Season 0.
Yeah.
Weren't quite there at the start of this season, but obviously we just finished race 2, Inigo up there on the podium. All of that's changed, but do you think that was a stroke of luck?
No, I mean, Season 1, they had the 3 poles, but they never converted the races. But Season 2, A, it's got a lot more competitive. B, they're still struggling with tire wear. You know, they never converted those poles in Season 1. They're still not in the race. You could see how much tire wear he had at Zandvoort towards the end of the race. So yeah, sorry, Season 0, Season 1. Yeah, so I mean, he also doesn't take his chances. Watkins Glen, he should have won that race. Inigo Anton should have won at Watkins Glen, but he decided to overtake Ayman Hakim at the wrong point and ended up spinning, crashing into the barrier, and that was his race done. So he should have had at least 1 win this year, but I feel they as a team still need to work out the tire because they're just chewing up the tire too fast.
Arguably, they should have won today. Inigo Anton was just that much quicker than Nakib Aslan throughout race 2. But as you said, Alex, they probably pushed the tires a little bit too much, burned them through, hit that cliff, and then that ultimately made him fall back in the latter stages of the races. Now, let's take a moment to actually speak to Inigo Anton. We can get an interview with him, with the fast Filipino. Let's just get him up. There we go. We've got Inigo Anton in the room. Inigo, congratulations, your first podium in Season 1. How does that feel?
Yeah, thank you. I'm just so relieved after the first race. Yeah, if you didn't see, I just had a puncture, I had a little tap, and yeah, I just had to go back in the pits. We were running the top 10, and yeah, we kind of just felt like bad. But you know, because of that, we were set up for race 2, starting in the front row, right beside Nakib. And my game plan was just I know that Nakib's really quick, and I just want to stay behind him, and just run our own race and not fight. And at the end, it paid off. Alif was able to still catch me though, but still super satisfied.
Yeah. Let's talk about pace over there though. You were actually so much quicker than Nakib Aslan for the first half of the race. What was the difficulty there? Like, was it difficult keeping up close to Nakib through the tight and twisty sections to ultimately make that move for the lead, even with the faster pace?
Well, yeah, look, when I was studying his car through the first part of the race, I saw that I had quicker pace like around the sweepers or fast corners, but in the slow corners he would kind of pull away. So when you get to the straight, it's pretty hard to make the move, and it's kind of a 50-50 decision. And knowing what happened the last race in race 1 with little bumps, I didn't want to have any punctures. So I knew it wouldn't be as worth it to try and make the move, because I know that he'll also be able to keep up with me if ever that happens.
Yeah, for sure. It's lovely getting that insight from you, everything that's going through your mind in the heat of the moment. Congratulations. It's great seeing you back up at the front. We're looking forward to seeing more of these performances in the last 2 rounds of the E1 Championship. Congratulations. We'll speak to you soon. All right, Alex, we've got time for one more interview. I think we should speak to Mika Yakimi because whilst he didn't get as much camera time as maybe the front runners, he did put in a stellar performance in race 2.
Let me just try and get hold of Mika Hikami, but just one quickly before we go there. Such a shame about Inigo Anton and GT Radio Eurasia, because they deserve a win, and it'd be nice to see if they get a win before the end of the season.
It'll come. It'll
Will
come. Good things take time.
But let's talk to another guy that also deserves a win, but hasn't had a win yet. Mika Hakimi, you have to talk us through that race 2. We know you didn't manage to get onto the server for race 1, but race 2, where do you go, from last to 4th?
Yeah, last to 4th. I think the first 3 laps I gained like more close to 10 places or more. Yeah, I mean, considering, you know, I just couldn't do race 1, I was fueled by anger mostly because I was so annoyed at the game, and then that sort of just like pulled out the best performance in me, and I think this is like one of the best races I've done. Unlucky because I've had really good pace. If I managed to do race 1, I think I definitely would have been able to fight for the win. So unlucky that this is how it turned out, but you know, strong performance. Race 2, happy about that.
You know what's more impressive about you going through the field is you guys have gone for a very unique setup. You've gone for high downforce, maximum drag, but quick through the corners, which is great if you're on pole position because you can keep the lead, or you should be able to keep the lead. But that means you slow down the straight. You could obviously see you slow down the straight, so to make all those overtakes must have been very tricky.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was a gamble we wanted to take because if you have no downforce, there was no way you were going to battle with anybody anyway. Once you're in the dirty air, you're going to struggle. So, but, you know, it's a tough thing to get used to around this track, I think, to really get the most performance out of the car. The car becomes very hard to drive, so it comes quite a fair bit down to the driver. So I spent the break working on, you know, my pace, working on my tire wear. Both of them came into play today, and I'm very happy about that.
Well, hopefully you'll get your win before the end of the season because you could definitely see there's good progress in race 2.
Yep, thank you.
All right, let's take a look at the race 2 highlights and the results. I think they're ready. A lot of action to pay attention to. Let's get it up on the screen.
Okay, so here we go, race 2. You can see, there we go, Nakib just led from the start, and him and Inigo Anton just pulled away. Miko Nasi is in 3rd position, but just could not keep close. Here we got Josh Poe, and he had an issue earlier on. And then his teammate, Alistair Young, went off while he was in 4th position, so he'll be hurting from that one for sure. Then Ayman Hakim, trying to make his way through the field, also spun off. This is a difficult track. But then the man of the hour was Alif. Then he is overtaking the 3rd position of Miko Nasi. And the pace he had, the way he was able to make the tire last, Daniel, I have to say this driver was in a league of his own today. Here he is overtaking Inigo Anton on the last lap of the race. So he was able to get to P2. Great recovery drive, and the championship leader extends his lead. However, for the end of race 2, it was this man who won the race.
And let's take a look at our results from race 2. Nakib Aslan making a comeback up to the top step of the podium with 25 points, not getting the fastest lap, but he's getting all of those valuable points that he needs after a very dismal race 1. Muhammad Alif Hamilton in P2, he's getting that consistency in once again and extending his lead. We'll see how that affects the overall championship standings right after this. And Inigo Anton, the fast Filipino, making his podium debut in Season 1. It was great speaking to him just now with Mika Hikami wrapping up the top 4. Let's go and take a look at our overall results from round 6 at Zandvoort. And Alex, exactly as you mentioned, Alif Hamilton in a league of his own, bagging 50 points from the 2 races and qualifying. We've got Nakib Aslan in P2, Ayman Hakim in P3. Good to see him on the podium again. Fadli Rahman in P4, slowly chipping away further and further in front. We're going to see him go on the podium in Hungary at round 7. Jason Tay in P5, you'll be happy with that result, and Inigo Anton rounding out the top 6. All right, Alex, we don't have enough time to unpack everything that happened there, and I wish we did because there are just so many different intricacies that we can talk about. The track of Zandvoort, the way the camera works, the overtakes we had, the starts, the strategies coming up, considering we have double points in round 8. We have drivers dropping points because they get to drop points from one round. But a very simple question for you. Who's your driver of the evening?
Well, I mean, the driver of the whole event definitely was Alif Hamilton because he was in a league of his own from Team Flash. Really, wow. No one could live with him today. Nakib, I think, was a bit off color today, but I also know he's been taking exams this week, so maybe that was part of the reason. But for me, driver of the day has to be Mika Hakimi. That race 2 race from very last to P4. And if there had been a couple more laps, he would have been P3 as well. And the pace he had right to the end, for me, that was drive of the day.
That was stellar. I mean, the fact that he was able to carve his way up the field so much faster than everybody else. We were saying earlier on in the show, he puts in 40-hour weeks testing his tires, his setups, and I'm sure he's going to be doing the same as we head to round 7 next week at Hungary. We're heading to the Hungaroring, which you may be familiar with from Formula 1. Alex, talk us through this lovely track.
Wow. So, again, it's a tight track. John and Lacey famously called it a car park, a bit like a kart track. The corners just kind of lead one into the other. But you can overtake. The start-finish straight is long enough. Again, tire wear will be very high. Not as high speed as Zandvoort, a lot of medium-speed corners. So there are a lot of similarities to Zandvoort. So seeing Alif so strong here, Team Flash so strong, I think they're going to be favorites coming to this race as well.
We do have a slightly wider track, longer straight, so overtaking might be a little bit easier. Less camber as well, so less of that incline on the track, which means we might be seeing less of those round the outside moves that we did see tonight at Zandvoort. Speaking of tonight, we've got a shift up in some of the positions from the podiums. Let's see how that affects the overall championship standings. All right, let's take a look at the top 5 in the Drivers' Championship standings so far after 6 rounds. Once again, it's Alif Hamilton in P1 with a pretty significant lead.
Yeah,
Alex, as you said, the title fight is still open because anything can happen, but I think he's pretty well on his own in the lead with Nakib Aslan in P2. Ayman Hakim there in a comfortable P3 with Josh Perwin just behind him, and Kalen Chin still maintaining his position in the top 5. Up next, let's take a look at the Team Championship standings. Here's our top 5. No guesses. It is Team Flash, the orange outfit, up at the front. Again, with a significant lead. You'll have Alif Hamilton to thank for that. But Jason Tate doing quite well as well, collecting a healthy amount of points. Nakib Aslan, the brotherly duo, Nabil Aslan alongside him. Not a very strong performance tonight, I must say, but still in second place nonetheless. Team RSG creeping up in P3, followed by JMX Phantom. Fadli Rahmat doing a fantastic job once again, followed by Black Arts Racing with Josh Perwin and Alistair Yu. All right, well, exciting weekend. Well, the weekend, evening. We've got 2 rounds left. Final reminder, drivers get to drop 1 round. From any round, except for the last round of the championship so far. So for Nakib Aslan, that's definitely going to be his race in Suzuka. Alif Hamilton, we're not too sure. That's probably going to be the last
It'll be one of his 20-point races. So I think the gap comes down from, 80 points to 60 points. So it's still a big gap, but there's still enough time to turn it around.
For sure. And of course, just like we saw in Season 0, the last round, round 8 for this season will have double points. So everything that the drivers collect multiplies in 2. And that means that if Alif Hamilton, for whatever reason, has a technical issue, crashes out, hits a back marker, goes off, and Nakib Aslan wins both of the races, I haven't done the calculations, but it theoretically means that the championship fight is still wide open for the lead. And that $5,000 US prize is still up for grabs. Des, Hungary coming up next. Is it a track you're familiar with?
Not really. I'm not familiar with any of it. It's all virtual, but we really want to take this right the way down to the final round of the season. So without being biased, let's hope that Nakib can push Alif, and Alif doesn't have his best of weekends.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be praying for some argy-bargy and for a big mix-up in the final races of the season. And hey, it's motorsports. Anything can happen. That's all we have for tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us. A kind reminder that we will be back live on the air every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. on the EGG network until the end of the season. Follow us on all of our social media pages, especially on Facebook, on the E1 Championship and the EGG network. Thank you to Alex, Des, and the team working on this show. We'll see you next week. Stay safe and good night.
Good night.